not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 on a shocking Tuesday. I did not tell you so Tuesday on the Monty Show presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Long weekend. Did you come out of it okay? Nobody got attacked by a dog? Didn't get in a car accident? Oh, you did? Get to theadvocates.com. They're ready, they're willing, and they are certainly able to serve you in your time of need. See, the Advocates know when you've been in an accident, it is one of the worst times in your life. You need somebody who's been there and done that, who's fought that fight. Give it to the Advocates. Let them handle the claims process so you can get back to being the best version of yourself. That's why you go to theadvocates.com. 24/7, 365. The Advocates are always ready to serve you. And my goodness, what a week one in college football. And with so many headlines and so many stories coming out of this week, it seems like, as usual, as sports fans, we are bloodthirsty, and the losses always seem far more important and far more, trendy, headline-making, newsworthy than any victory. But certainly last night, as we watched Bill Belichick and North Carolina fall apart, I don't think there's any doubt that the Alabama loss is front and center in a lot of people's mind. I don't think there's any doubt you look in the Big 12. I think you look at Baylor's loss. I think you look at K-State in another game where you just don't understand what K-State's trying to do. There were a lot of performances this weekend that really leave you scratching your head, but I don't think there's any other performance that is more shocking, disappointing, out of left field than just how badly North Carolina got their ass kicked last night. And Jake, you certainly enjoyed watching Bill Belichick lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of the situation with Bill Belichick is that you had this great first drive, and everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. We've got celebrities, everyone's feeling good, like the vibes are right. And then all of a sudden, it's like TCU just decided to show up and shut you down, and they go on to score a bunch of points on you. And the hard part is I'm watching this game, and I'm like, dude, like this, to me, like this is the same narrative as Colorado, right? Ton of celebrities at the game, new head coach, like should be really good. And there's a bunch of hype, and, we're all wondering where Bill Belichick's girlfriend is. And then they go out and flop. And I think that's really difficult. And I don't think anyone was expecting UNC to win a national championship or anything, but to get blown out at home like that is just really tough it's just a really tough way to start your tenure as the head coach of that team. And I don't know that anyone believes that it's just going to, turn around, because all I see today is everyone talking about, oh, well, the roster's got a lack of talent. Like it's year one. So I just thought it was interesting that going into the game, everything was the same as it was for UNC as it was for Colorado. But leaving the game, we're not sitting here criticizing these guys. We're talking about how the roster doesn't have talent, which I just think is interesting.
Yeah, I think this is, first of all, I'm not one of the people celebrating that Bill Belichick lost at North Carolina. I'm not really sure why. And I understand probably with his girlfriend and all the hubbub that was around that. I'm not celebrating North Carolina getting crushed because it's terrible for the ACC. I think it's actually really bad for college football. I think North Carolina this year was one of those programs where there's no question you were paying attention to that team. And, well, I say were because you're not anymore. But I don't look at this any differently than just about any other any other loss on the calendar, because I look at TCU and maybe I hold Josh Hoover and the guys in Fort Worth at a lofty level, comparatively speaking, but I'm not surprised by this outcome at all. North Carolina is not talented. I told you this back in the spring when his girlfriend was coaching spring practice. It literally does not matter. North Carolina does not have the horses to compete in the race. In my mind, it is as simple as that. You're going up against a TCU team that I hope, and I think based on what we saw last night, had to come out and prove a point, because there's a lot of people who believe that this TCU team just simply isn't as good as it should be. And I don't know that beating the hell out of a North Carolina team that frankly lacks quality talent, I don't know what that tells us about TCU, because I think that's how bad North Carolina was. But I think it's a little short-sighted to be celebrating Bill Belichick's loss.
Yeah, I think part of that is the way this went down in the week leading up to the game. And when I say the way this went down, what I mean is that nobody was really talking about TCU, right? And TCU clearly took this personally. You know, you look at all the trolling on social media afterwards, asking when season 1 of, whatever they're calling the UNC series on Hulu, TCU retweeting UNC and talking a bunch of junk. And, so TCU was clearly taking it personally that everyone was talking about the hoodie and UNC and all the celebrities at the game versus like who was actually the better team and, what this game really should have been. And I think that's why we're seeing so much celebration of this loss, if you will.
Why do you care that there were celebrities at the game?
Because it builds the hype, right? It's like, hey, there's all these people here. Like, you're showing off Michael Jordan being at the game and all these different, again, celebrities. Like it's all part of the game day experience. And I think that again, it's his first game as the coach of UNC, and this is what we're doing to him. And so I just think it's I don't know that people are celebrating the loss as much as they're in it for the trash talk from TCU to UNC.
No, it is. I have no doubt about it. I think people are absolutely celebrating Bill Belichick failing in his first week out, and I think when you look at this game and you look at the way that they came out, it's not disappointing. To me, I think that this is simply a really remarkably pedestrian North Carolina team. And I don't know why we as fans get so wrapped up in, hey, famous guys at the game, I hope they lose. Like, I've never understood that. Is this Taylor Swift at a Chiefs game? No. But why are we not rooting for the Knicks to lose every game? When Spike's courtside or famous people go to the Garden, why are we not rooting for the Lakers to lose every game? Like, I just will never understand the red ass who gets upset that Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest athlete ever to come from North Carolina, the University of North Carolina, goes to a football game and you're all rooting for them to lose because an alumni went to the game. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, but the difference is that they there's a reason to go to Madison Square Garden. There's a reason to go to Crypto Don't Call Me Staples Center. There's a reason to be at those venues. There wasn't a reason to be at this game other than it was Bill Belichick's first game for UNC. Nobody.
Is that not a valid reason?
Well, not if we're sitting here saying the team wasn't going to be good, right? I mean, we can't have it both ways. We can't be like, oh, well, we're all excited and we're going to the game and it's Bill Belichick's first game. Well, why are we excited that it's his first game? Well, because he's one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. Theoretically, this guy, if there was ever going to be a guy, this guy in particular would be able to produce a solid football team at the college level. Not, again, I don't think anyone was expecting him to win national championships, but just, it would have been very fitting to go out and just get a win or just be competitive. Even if you had lost by like one touchdown, be competitive and put on a good game. But I think that the issue is, and I understand why people are celebrating this. Like, the hype was, hey, UNC, UNC, and there was no respect shown to Sonny and those guys.
I just don't view it that way. And this is, maybe I'm just the old fart who doesn't pay attention anymore. I don't know. I never viewed this as a huge hype game. I never viewed this as, oh, a bunch of famous people are going, North Carolina is going to crush TCU. I never viewed it that way. And I think the problem is people don't get into football. They get into celebrities.
Yeah.
And they get into Bill Belichick's the head coach. He doesn't have talent. It's been one portal cycle. He doesn't have talent. They're not talented. And it just doesn't surprise me. I think largely the rest of the week, frankly, we're going to hear tons about how North Carolina is going to fire Bill Belichick. North Carolina is not firing Bill Belichick. That's not it's one game. You have to give him at least 2 years. If he's getting blown out like this next year, okay, let's have the conversation. He's going to get blown out like this all year long against the best teams in the ACC, which really it's Florida State and Miami at this point, because he's just not been able to build the talent base.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do like, and the other dumbass comparison I love about Bill Belichick in North Carolina is, oh, well, Deion did it. Why can't Bill? Because Bill's not Deion. And Bill's kid wasn't one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And they didn't have the best player in college football on that roster like Deion did. He's not Deion Sanders. Why would that even be a comparison? One, I just think if you're surprised that they're not good, and I don't think any of us predicted this would be a blowout. I think when we talked about it the other day, I said I thought they'd lose by like 10 or 12 points because I happen to think Hoover's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And they have weapons, and I actually think TCU's defense, that's what stood out to me. Mm-hmm. TCU's defense is significantly better than I thought it would be, right? Like, you look up and down this conference in the Big 12 this week, there were no surprises. I warned you about Utah. Y'all told me that I'm an asshole and we want Utah to lose every game and we don't want them here. I totally get it. That doesn't mean that they're a bad football team. In fact, it turns out they're actually pretty good. When your best linebacker is catching touchdowns, you're having a pretty good night. I warned you about Oak State. Oak State's the exact same team that we thought they were. Their offense isn't better. Their defense isn't better. And they struggled to look like a dominant team against a pretty shitty opponent. Because right? Like Baylor. Yeah. Wolf losing at Baylor. Who knew? Who knew?
Wall Street.
Right? Like, who knew?
Who's surprised?
The Wolf was going to lose? Well, actually, we did because we picked Auburn on this show. Right? Like, I look up and down this conference and I see the results. And I say to myself, I love Rocco Becht. In all seriousness, if Rocco Becht was single, I want him to marry the daughter that I never had. Right? I'll go adopt a daughter so Rocco Becht can marry her. I love this freaking kid. Right? I love Rocco Becht. I am not at all surprised that K-State football is an average-ass football team. And I don't know how you explain that they can't tackle.
It's bad, dude.
I don't know. After what we saw in Ireland, I thought that they would come out and just try to murder people. And I think I even said last week, I do not want to be, if you had to pick a college football team for me in week 2, which should be week 1 because we do this dumbass week 0 thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I even said on this show, I would not under any circumstance want to be North Dakota because I felt like K-State was going to come out and be on a mission, and turns out they weren't. turns out that you don't want to, if you're a K-State fan, Manhattan, Kansas, cover your ears because you can't give up 354 yards to the Little Sisters of the Poor at North Dakota and call yourself a conference contender. You cannot. You want to hear shocking numbers? You cannot give up 6.5 yards of play to North Dakota. You cannot, under any circumstance, let North Dakota possess the ball for 5 more minutes than you. 4 minutes, excuse me, and change. Like, you just can't do it. And the worst part about this game is I already in the comments section have Kansas State fans talking about that Avery Johnson should be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. because he had 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. Guy, it's North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, and they almost beat you. Did I mention this game was in Manhattan? Like, this conference, as much as you don't want to say it, this conference is a 1 or 2 team conference. And the one team, and again, you're going to hate it, right now the one team is the Utah Utes. That's the best Big 12 team I've seen this year. And I've seen both Iowa State games. And again, I want Rocco back to marry my mother so I can call him daddy, right? Like, please. I love that guy. I'm taking Utah every single day.
I mean, I just don't know how you don't. I mean, it's a dominant win.
That defense, if you had any questions about Devin Dampier, and I warned you, and I am going to sit here and dislocate my shoulder telling you, I warned you about Devin Dampier in this offense. And I warned you that this was not going to be the same scam rising year 26 that we saw out of this team last year. Because what we got out of Devin Dampier is a guy who you all told me can't complete a pass. I saw him last year. Marty's wholly inaccurate.
Playing G6 competition.
Dumping down against my brother's Boy Scout troop.
Y'all feel me?
21 of 25. Averaged 8 yards of completion, 2 touchdowns. Did I mention that he ran for 87 yards and averaged 5.4 yards a rush? And he also scored a touchdown. And I don't know, because I know he makes $4 million a year. But Nico Imaliava, the greatest quarterback that his own father has ever seen, is hot ass. He looked horrendous. And I'm sure at some point, Nico, I don't make $4 million llama load lock hot caramel latte. I am certain that at some point he'll figure it out.
Yeah, boy.
He didn't figure it out against Utah. And Utah absolutely dominated not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 sacks on Nico, your mom's Liava. Did I mention that Utah's got from what I've seen, the best offensive line in the country? I have no qualms. I will fight you over it. Do you understand that they gave up 0 sacks in an entire football game? 2 tackles for loss. Not in a quarter, not in a half. The entire game, 0 sacks, 2 tackles for loss against a not terrible UCLA defense. Bro, you don't have to like it, but the reality is the Utah Utes are the best team in this conference until they're not. And maybe that's a short-lived thing. I don't know. But I look at some of the storylines in this weekend, and this bad boy right here is a real problem. Because K-State's not a Big 12 championship contender at this point, in my opinion.
No chance. No chance. Don't have the quality. I agree with everything you said. I mean, I don't know if you're a K-State fan, how you're not concerned. You know, how are you not sitting here saying, yeah, Avery's the same guy. Defense doesn't look good. Can't tackle anybody. Struggling to run the football, albeit Edwards being out. Totally get it. But next man up mentality, as they all say, like, how are you not concerned? And, you know, I sit here and I feel the same way. I mean, all the haters on Utah don't want to admit that Utah looks like the most complete team right now. And I get it. It's early in the season. Totally understand. But I don't know how you leave the Utah game after watching the other games and say, yeah, Utah's middle of the road. They're just, it's another year. No, it's not just another year. They look really good. And Dampier is going to be very difficult to stop. His instincts running around are elite and
tough guy to tackle.
Yeah. And
tough guy to tackle.
I believe you said this last week. Maybe I'm wrong. Your comparison of him to Kyler Murray, a Kyler Murray-esque player, smaller quarterback, but very quick, very instinctual runner, can really throw the football, good leadership ability. That was all on full display multiple times. I mean, he manipulated that defense multiple times to get his guy open, and there wasn't any stopping it. So for me, if you watch the Big 12 this past weekend, Utah's the best team. K-State's got the biggest, question mark, panic button, whatever you want to call it. Iowa State, I think was who we know them to be. And from
Did
there,
I mention how much I like Rocco Becht? Have I talked about Rocco Becht today? I can't remember. So I'm a huge Rocco Becht fan.
Yeah.
I wish he was at Notre Dame, who we're never talking about ever again.
Should happen.
Dude, I don't even want, anyway. And then there's the Texas-Ohio State game, which went very much the way we thought it would go. This was probably the most enjoyable game to watch this weekend. I think there's a snap or two that separates these two teams. And here's another thing that this is the Bill Belichick conversation, but about Arch Manning. I'll never understand why so many of you asshats are out here celebrating that Arch Manning had a terrible first half and then half of a quarter. Terrible first half for Arch Manning, right? Can we all agree with that? Like I'm not going to say he looked scared. He looked really hesitant to make a mistake. He looked like a guy who didn't want to throw the ball in. I think he believes, and this could be, I could be wrong. Give me a little latitude here. I think he thinks Caleb Downs is Superman and Caleb Downs can actually leave the ground in human flight because he did not throw the ball in the vicinity of Caleb Downs for the first 2 quarters of football. And it cost him 1 interception, right? Without question. And then it seemed like halfway through the 3rd quarter, he's like, yeah, losing sucks. I think I'm going to try not to lose this game. And then I think you saw him starting to operate. But again, I'll just continue to say this. I think this game went exactly how I thought it would go. These two defenses are absolutely murderous. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want them in my zip code, my county, or my state. Please, God, let them stay away from Notre Dame because we don't have a quarterback or a coach in South Bend. A little preview for you. But I am telling you now, looking at the numbers in this game, dude, this is exactly what we needed in college football. These were 2 really well-coached teams. I don't know how, and I'm not sure that I should say it out loud, more hyperbole. How did Ohio State's defense get better? Wait. Because all of the pedophiles in Happy Ending Valley were busy telling us how they took Ohio State's coordinator, how nobody likes Ryan Day, how there's no talent on that team. And then I look at the numbers and I say to myself, even with 8 new starters, there's 11 guys on defense, 11. That's more than half of the defense, including the defensive line. And that's a better defense. That they're certainly better than Michigan's defense. Probably the other defense in the conference would be the Knuckle Deep Boys in Happy Ending Valley. And I think Ohio State's better than they are. Talent for talent, man for man. When Kenyatta Jackson's going to do what he did to Texas, and I don't want to, Texas fan, listen, today you just need to take your tussin. Just a full spoonful. And you might want to chug the tussin today. I don't care if those are all rookie linemen up front. You're MFing Texas. And you got pushed around by Ohio State's defensive line. And Texas fan on this show last week who was trying to convince me that Texas was going to push around Ohio State. You were never pushing around Ohio State. But what did I tell you? We're going to find out if the new defensive line at Ohio State or the new offensive line at Texas is better. And I think about 85% of the snaps, they were a draw. The game was won and lost inside of those other 15%. And Kenyatta Jackson opened up a can of whoop ass on Texas's offensive line. And I look at the fact that probably the second best defense in this conference right now, might be Penn State, they're not even close to Ohio State. And generally, I don't support those who support abusing children, so I only watched about 5 minutes of Epstein Island the other day.
Petter-ass you.
And Ohio State is significantly better. This is one of the most well-coordinated schemes I've ever seen. This is what I saw Matt Patricia's defense do in year one with simply a summer and a training camp under their belts in a really complex system, because make no mistake, Ohio State's schemes are really complex. One of the things that I was worried about in the first quarter of this game, you saw Ohio State defenders with a wow factor on their face, like, we just did that. Oh, what was like? You saw it going off in their head. Hey, that worked. Hey, when you look at that game through the entire first half, did you see one guy suck and win for Ohio State on defense? No, they made it look easy because the scheme clicked right away. That means they're well coached. That means they're well coordinated. That means they practice right. They prepare right. This team has no excuse not to repeat. Because, Jake, I think Ohio State's the best team I saw all weekend long.
Yeah, I mean, this game didn't go any type of way I thought it would go. I mean, I'm incredibly disappointed in Texas's offense. I think that Arch Manning, I understand it's your first game. I understand it's Ohio State. Totally get it, right? Like it's a difficult environment. It's a big game. There's no way around it, and I get all that. At the same time, though, Arch Manning also has advantages that others do not, most notably Julian Sayin. And my biggest issue in this game is that Arch Manning did not appear ready for the moment, in my opinion. And I don't believe that the play calling for Texas was ready for the moment either. I did not see complex run play option to confuse the defense. I did not see you make an adjustment to start dictating to their defense to force them to play the way you wanted them to play. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see the mentality out of Texas's offense from the CFP last year that I was expecting. And so what does it wind up being? It winds up being exactly what you just spent 10 minutes talking about. It might as well have been an NFL scouting combine for Ohio State's defense.
Certainly.
Like it was. And by the way, I have to say, Matt Patricia deserves all the flowers in the world. I could not agree more that was one of the best schemes that I've ever seen in college football. It was elite play calling, elite execution, elite tackling. They're all in condition. Like everything you want out of a defense, that Ohio State defense did, and they deserve a hell of a lot of credit for that. But make no mistake about it, this is absolutely, in my opinion, an underperformance by the Texas offense, and I would fully expect at some point, you can disagree. You can disagree. I'm not coming off this. This is Texas at some point needs to be accountable to the fact that Arch Manning and is supposed to be this big quarterback prospect. And just, again, you want to call it a bad half or a bad half of a quarter, whatever it might be. I just did not feel like they were ever in danger of winning that game. And that's incredible.
See, I disagree. I think when I look at Arch Manning outperformed Julian Sayin. And I think when you start looking at, when you really get into the schematics of the offenses, they're really not that different. When you start getting into the talent, Ohio State has exponentially more talented wide receivers who got thoroughly handled but one throw by the Texas offense or by the Texas defense. I think the thing that you should be pointing to if you're disappointed in Texas's offense, they didn't have a wide receiver separate themselves in any way, shape, or form. So we got to ask the question. Is that because the coverage in the secondaries I talk so much about? Because I maintain, and now having seen Notre Dame's secondary, Ohio State's got the best secondary in the country, in my opinion.
I just don't know how that's even in dispute. I don't know how anyone disagrees with that.
I agree. Second to Texas, who has the second best secondary in the country. And that's what you got to be putting in your head. I'm not disappointed in Arch Manning. The interception was just a shitty decision. It's a bad decision. Quarterbacks are going to make bad decisions. What disappointed me was his hesitation in the first half. That's where this game was won and lost. But if I look in total, and I'm asking you, look in total, this game was 2 or 3 snaps. That was the difference in the entire game. Because you look at Jermaine Matthews' interception, it's just a really bad decision. Julian Sayin largely took no risks in this game. If you go look at, there's the YouTube video I watched. I can't remember who put it up, but somebody had every throw Julian Sayin made. There was not a risky throw in that group. Ryan Day did a phenomenal job keeping his quarterback out of trouble. I think maybe, and I obviously nobody has said this, I think Steve Sarkisian had too much faith in his quarterback. He believed he could throw the whole pot of soup at him and the boy would eat. Arch Manning didn't look hungry in the first half, like
at all.
And then in the third quarter, it slowly started. And then in the fourth quarter, you saw the quarterback we all thought Arch Manning was going to be. Make no mistake about this. The Big Ten has been won. Ohio State is the best team. I watched a Michigan offense, frankly, that was unimpressive from the jump. And I know he's a rookie and a freshman, and I know that and I believe this. I am a big believer in you've got to give freshmen space. But I'm telling you, and I'm trying to be careful with it because he's got Oklahoma this week. Am I the only one that is not just absolutely falling head over heels for Bryce Underwood? Because what I saw to Bryce Underwood, and I'm not trying to be controversial, and if you're one of the scumbag loser fans, deal with it. Having watched every one of his plays, there's nothing impressive about him yet. And I know that, again, I know you're going to say, well, it was New Mexico. He should have dominated New Mexico. And he didn't. And you want to know the terrifying thing if you're a fan of those scumbag losers up north? If Justice Haynes doesn't absolutely break his foot off in New Mexico's ass, Michigan loses this game. Because Bryce Underwood had no ability to operate and manipulate, and is a guy, again, and I know this is going to sound harsh, he has no idea. He has no idea about everything. He clearly was looking, and if you go back, go watch the film, he's looking in the wrong spot on those, and granted, it wasn't in volume, but the 10 throw, I think it was 10 throws he missed. And I think he was 20 of 30. The 10th, 21 of 31, 1 touchdown. His QBR was 54.2. And he ran 2 times for minus 5 yards. That's not good. Just throwing that out there. Michigan's going to struggle. And the fact you gave up 17 to a brand new New Mexico team, that's not good. And then if you really want to lose your water, you want to know the other thing that should really worry you if you're Michigan? There were some performances this weekend. Ohio almost beating Rutgers, unimpressive. Rutgers sucks. Minnesota, Nebraska. Nebraska looked okay. Okay, so what are you trying to say here, Monty? Well, I'm trying to tell you Wisconsin looked a lot better. A lot better. I'm telling you, as somebody who has watched Illinois football since pretty much the day I bounced off mom's thighs, Illinois looked really good. I mean, really, really good. Against, granted, Western Illinois, I almost went there, but I didn't. They looked really good. And then you start looking at our friends out west, and there was some good football. Did anybody see? And I know they suck, and Lincoln doesn't coach defense. Did anybody see what Maeva did for USC? Oh, you didn't see his 295 yards and 2 touchdowns and his QBR of 96. 96. Week 1. And I'm supposed to believe that those scumbag cheaters up north have a chance. Come on, man. This is going to be a long, long year. Long, long year for Michigan, in my opinion. But,
Yeah.
is what it is. I am going to be very interested to see how y'all react to me losing my mind about Notre Dame. Because I'm the only one who feels this way. I got a lot of comments on the old talk machine and the old tweet machine. We got embarrassed by a very mediocre Miami team. Oh, Miami's back. Unbelievable. Carson back. Look at this. Look at that. I don't know. And again, I'm not Marcus Freeman. But do you teach Aiden Schuler to catch footballs, or do you teach him to watch footballs being caught?
It's a valid question.
Do you teach your defenders to knock football down or to watch football caught? Because the 2 touchdown passes should never have happened. And on last year's team, they're both intercepted. Because last year, Aiden Schuler was coming for your neck. And this year, apparently, he's on the Connor Stallions plan because he's buying tickets and watching touchdowns. And if you want to talk about the quarterback, I don't know what game people watched. I am not the guy who was wildly impressed by a dude running 20 yards in the wrong direction against a 3-man line. He runs 20 yards in the wrong direction and then somehow flips around, throws a touchdown with the Miami secondary quite literally eating popcorn, hot dogs, and drinking sodas and checking out the honeys in the 3rd row. So our wide receivers were standing next to each other in the end zone, wide open. And then I'm supposed to be like, well, goddamn, we have a quarterback. I got news for you. We don't have a quarterback. And now I know that we're on a bye this week. You understand, the entire season comes to an end against A&M in 2 weeks. You understand? Because, I know I'm the only one and I'm being hyperbolic. And you guys understand that if Notre Dame loses to Texas A&M, it's over. You get that, right? Because the only good news that comes out of this whole thing is that apparently, and I could be wrong, but apparently Notre Dame tastes good because the AP slurped them all day long. Because how do you keep Notre Dame? If you watch the game that I watched, you're telling me there's only 8 teams in this country better than Notre Dame? What game did you watch? Because I am telling you, South Carolina is better than Notre Dame. Florida State is better than Notre Dame. I am telling you, as surely as I sit here, the Tennessee team that I saw beat Syracuse is better than Notre Dame. I am telling you, the Utah team that I watch beat UCLA is not better than Notre Dame. You cannot tell me that you really believe that there are only 8 teams better in this country than Notre Dame. And I've watched every snap of that game now twice. You know what the shocking thing is? And maybe I just am stupid. I'm open to that idea. People are talking about how Miami's offensive line dominated Notre Dame. The defensive line at times dominated Notre Dame's offensive line. You understand that Marcus Freeman was rushing 3 people for about 3 down. And a lot of times only 2 in the dirt. Three defensive linemen on the pass rush. Not blitzing, not A-gapping, not stunting or twist. 3 guys. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? And then what happened in the second half when you got back in the game? Oh, that's right. Carson Beck couldn't stand around and, dilly-dally. You hit him. He throws a dying quail up, and Aiden Schuler watches him catch the ball. This is not a good football team. and I will continue to beat this drum. Marcus Freeman should not be the head coach at Notre Dame. CJ Carr, while a good quarterback, who Michigan State, any other crappy team in the Big Ten, CJ Carr's your dude. This is Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame. We don't do the CJ Carr game where, oh, granddad in Michigan, fuck them. This is Notre Dame. It's not Michigan. It's not Michigan. His last name's not Montana or Holtz. His last name's Carr. He belongs at Michigan because he's not good enough to play here. And if you're going to sit around and knee pad this cat, hey, just have the right expectations.
Venice Parade.
Because as long as Marcus Freeman's the head coach, this team is going to be schematically bad because he's not an X and O's guy. How do you have you have the third best secondary I saw this weekend, and you're playing zone? You come out in the third quarter and you play zone, and you get blowed up playing zone. Miami had a field day with you playing zone. And what happens after the third quarter when you go back to playing man? They didn't do a thing. And Marcus Freeman's like, well, we got to tackle. God helped us. We prayed. Thoughts and prayers to our defense. How did that work out, Marcus? How did that work out? It didn't work out because you're not good enough to be the head coach at Notre Dame. And CJ Carr is not good enough to be the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. Not 1, 2, 3 straight years your starting quarterback is a cast-off from schools who should not be competing with you. But yet, here we are. Here we are. And I know Jake is probably going to tell you here in a second what he was telling me on text, what all my friends were telling me, what everybody was telling me on Twitter. You're making too much of it. It's one loss. It's the first week of the year. Here's what you don't understand. We go Miami, bye week, Texas A&M. What if we lose the Texas A&M game? Say it's okay. You can say it. The season's over. Did you watch Texas A&M? They're better than Notre Dame. So there you go. I don't feel better.
I mean, I agree about CJ Carr. I mean, the guy's got heart. You know, he's Riley Leonard 2.0. He can't throw the football. You know,
he can't run.
You
well, apparently that kid how to get down.
Apparently he can. He doesn't know how to get down, and he's looking to injure his spine trying to get down to the ground. Apparently, but I mean, the guy can run. Like it's just not. It's not. This is what amazes me about Notre Dame, and I think I texted you this while the game was going on. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, and this is not unique to Miami. We saw this all day long last year. I don't understand how Marcus Freeman gets his team in a spot basically every week where you're, in the first half, you're struggling. You get behind. You go into the locker room, you give some ridiculous speech, whatever you're going to do, make your adjustments, whatever the hell it is, right? Whatever you want, whatever the guy does. They come back out. They change schemes. To your point, they're going from man to zone and zone to man, and they're trying all this different stuff. And then they just start going back and forth with Miami, and then one thing leads to another, and you have one bad mistake by Miami. Notre Dame goes right down the field and scores a touchdown, and now we have a game again. And that, to me, under Marcus Freeman, is Notre Dame football. You don't have a quarterback.
Yes, it is.
You're again, to your point, because I think you're right about most of this. You're more emotional because you're a Notre Dame fan, and I get that. But, like, it's not incorrect to feel like, yeah, why are we changing our scheme so much when man was working? Why do we keep going to zone when we're dominating them in man? Why would we change that? And then furthermore, why are we again, and this is what pisses me off so much about Texas. I saw the same behavior with Notre Dame. Why are you play calling and putting Carr in bad positions where he's got to hold the football? Why are you not
right? You may have heard of Jeremiah Love, and I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't think he's on the roster anymore. He must have got cut from the team very quietly. after Marcus put thought and prayer into it.
I mean,
They must have
you had
cut
one leg
Jeremiah
last year
Love,
and you
right?
played more, bro. Like
Look,
what are we
he's
doing?
not on. And again, I think I could be wrong, but is Jeremiah Love on the team anymore? Has anybody double checked that fact? Because we just didn't use him. We didn't use him. I'm being a jerk now.
And then when you did, the best part is, and this might be the best example of Marcus Freeman football. Then when you did in the second half, dude busts their ass out to the left and is jumping over guys, getting it to like the 1 yard line, and you commit a holding penalty to bring it right back. That's Notre Dame football. That's what you should be complaining about. But make no mistake about it. This team has the advantage, as we talked about all offseason, saw it last year, see it every year. This team has the advantage to look like crap early in the year, play a soft-ass schedule,
but
be
we
a
don't this year.
Team,
we don't this year.
And there you go. 10-2 Notre Dame is in the CFP, dude. 10-2 Notre Dame's in the CFP.
Right. Last year, you got away with that. There's a reason you got away with that. Strength of schedule didn't matter. Strength of opponent did not matter. Jabba the jerk-off from from Ann Arbor didn't really care about strength of schedule.
Bro, Jabba the jerk-off?
Yes. Yes, because we don't get that advantage. Look at the schedule. I'm begging people. And this is what I say with Miami. This is not an indictment on Miami. Carson Beck is an average-ass quarterback. Yeah. We can sit here and say a lot of things about CJ Carr. He's inexperienced. He's not ready. He couldn't. He's not a fireman. We're firemen. No, while CJ Carr is a paramedic, he's not a fireman. I don't know what. Carson Beck, both of his touchdowns were heaves where he had no idea what was going to happen at the end of that route. And when you look at how they won the game was very simply run because Miami chose to run the ball 10 more times than Notre Dame, whose entire offense is built around running the goddamn football, but we didn't run the football. Right? That's the entire offense. Run the football, help your freshman quarterback. Your completely inexperienced guy, who at the end of the night was 19 of 30. Carson Beck, and maybe this is Caleb Williams all over again. Carson Beck, greatest quarterback, won us the game, spectacular. 20 of 31 for 205. How about CJ Carr, 19 of 30 for 221? Oh, wait, CJ Carr, who lost, outplayed Carson Beck. Oh, Carson Beck, greatest quarterback ever.
Oh, God, this is the Caleb Williams take all over again.
My point is, it's fine if CJ Carr's a starting quarterback at Miami because it's Miami. It's Mario Cristobal. There are zero expectations that team's going to do anything. Now, all of a sudden, they win on what amounts to a Hail Mary because if Aiden Schuler decides to go for the neck, this game's a win.
Yeah, dude ain't catching that football, bro.
There's no both touchdowns were just giveaways. The zone route where Malachi Toney is open by 9 full yards. Malachi Toney, their only weapon offensively. He's it in the passing game. He's it. Runs a route, turns right, and there's not a guy wearing a dome for 9 yards on their. You figure Jeremiah Love, 10 for 33 yards. 10 carries for the best running back in the country. 10 carries. Help me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I feel better. And listen, for Mario Cristobal, I would absolutely be knee padding Carson Beck too, because he's an average-ass quarterback.
Winner, Monty. Winner.
He is an average-ass quarterback. The 2 touchdowns, inexcusable. You let those go. Miami's defense, I have a lot of respect for Miami's defense. They played hard. They certainly never quit. I thought I thought Ruben Bain was the most disruptive player on the field. The interception is an unbelievably difficult interception. Now, it was a terrible throw. I have no idea what you were looking at. But that's an unbelievable play. And I look at some of the corners on that team. Like, I thought David Blay played a really strong game. got beat badly several times, but he broke up a really critical pass. You just look up and down Miami's team. This was not a win offensively. I think the breakout stars of that game are for Miami. I think Malachi Toney, who is, I think, 14 years old, is going to be a very big problem for the ACC. And good luck if you're trying to make a living going against Ruben Bain Jr., number 4 for Miami, because that cat is an unbelievable player. He's an unbelievable player. So, oh boy, D-Rock Irish is here. About the 5th time Notre Dame threw over to the sidelines, same dang play. And a lot of people are on Denbrock for the play calling. My criticism of Mike Denbrock is he did not run the ball. He ran the ball 50% as much as we needed to. And it really hurt CJ Carr. It really hurt him. The kid is not ready. He's not ready to be your starting quarterback. And we now know, based on the Syracuse game, the guy we did have who is a quitter and hates God, apparently, because, well, he transferred out of Notre Dame. That's what that tells me. He's not. He probably doesn't hate God. That's probably
pack everything up. We're out of here.
He transferred. My point is, we don't have a quarterback and haven't had a quarterback for 2 years at Notre Dame. And the play calling, there's nobody called a play where you're supposed to avoid a sack by throwing the ball hard left backwards out of bounds. Don't believe that's a play call. Nobody told you to run 20 yards backwards and then loop around and get incredibly lucky that somehow the Miami defense went to sleep. Nobody called that play. This kid's not ready, and he's not good enough to be the quarterback at Notre Dame. Marcus isn't good enough. You want Marcus to be your defensive coordinator? I'll hire him all day long at Notre Dame. Oh, you want him to be the head coach? Brian Kelly was a better head coach. Oh, yeah.
I just don't know how you can say that.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy, because when Brian Kelly was the head coach, you always had a quarterback, and that quarterback was prepared and ready. He knew what the defense was going to do.
You never went to the national championship game.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Like,
yes, you did. You didn't win it. I don't like Brian Kelly because he doesn't win the national championship game. But let's not forget that Brian Kelly, who I held the door for on the way out, if I have to remind you what Brian Kelly did at Notre Dame, I'm happy to do it. 92-39. 92-39. I said 92-39 as the head coach at Notre Dame. And I would remind you that he finished ranked in the top 5 twice, right? And he lost the 2012 game when it was still the BCS.
I didn't know he went in 2012, the BCS game. So
yes.
He went once.
Yes. And the other thing that most people don't want to talk about is, like, you look at the year we were 11-1 and went to the Fiesta Bowl and finished like 9th. That was a really good football team that didn't have a lot of talent, right? But you look at his quarterbacks. Did we have 2016 when we were, 3-9? Yes. But did he finish his, you want to know how much better he is than Marcus Freeman? 10-3, 12-1, 11-2, 10-2, and 11-1 in his last 5 years in South Bend. Couldn't win the big game. I agree with that. I'm not in it to win Camping World bowl games. I'm not in it to win the Citrus Bowl or the Music City Bowl. I'm not. But again, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I just, I
mean, I agree. I agree that Brian Kelly, definitely gives you, a more traditional, more reliable winning culture in the regular season. And when you have that, the odds of you getting far in the postseason go up substantially, which is going to help you recruit, which is going to help you do all of these different things. And I don't disagree with that. I guess what's hard is that, Freeman is flawed. There's no question about it. And so what we're really talking about is not whether, Brian Kelly, who we're going to talk a lot more about today, or Marcus Freeman is the better head coach. What we're really talking about is that Notre Dame doesn't go out and get the guy they need, regularly enough. You got to find the next head coach of Notre Dame whenever that happens. And I'm not saying that's going to be anytime soon, but when they do, they have to go out and get someone that is reliable, that understands how to go out and get quarterback talent and how to get, because I believe you got to have a quarterback, you got to have 2 wide receivers, and you got to have a defense. If you have those 3 things, even if your offensive line sucks, but you have a mobile quarterback who can get the job done, you can at least work with that. Not every great team has every single box checked, right? Even the great ones have some questions late in the year. And so to me, I'm just, at some point it'd be nice if we didn't have to watch, because Notre Dame's issue on offense is that their offense is just not attractive. It's not sexy. It's not enjoyable to watch. It's not.
You're play calling for a veteran quarterback who knows how to read defenses. That's the problem. I agree that the play calling was not great. Notre Dame's offense isn't the problem. It's the play calling inside of the offense when CJ Carr's your quarterback. They were so conservative early because they know who he is and they know what he's about. You had no choice but to open up and let him play. And I'm telling you, did the kid cook in the second half? He did. Did he look better? He did. But man, he threw an interception, and the grounding penalties, I think he had 3 grounding penalties. It crippled any chance they had to come back. Anyway, TJ Beck, Monty, Jake, Monty's blood pressure is getting redlined. Don't mention Notre Dame for a month.
I mean, I would be pissed off too, in fairness. I mean, you should have won that game. That's the crime. You should have won that game.
Yeah. Eric says Ohio State's O-line played weak. I don't agree with that. I think you don't play weak against Texas and survive. That's one of the best defensive fronts in college football. And again, I will just continue to tell you, Ohio State's the best team in the country. And I think when you look at the AP top 25 and you say to yourself, well, how many teams in the AP poll are really tested? There's no doubt Ohio State, LSU, speaking of Brian Kelly and family.
Dude.
I tried to tell you about this game too, and I hope you listen to me. LSU's really good. LSU, I look at LSU and this performance, they are national championship quality. And I look at how, I don't know, and I'm going to play you some tape here in a minute from Dabo. I don't know what Dabo's looking at. You had a really bad quarterback performance. I mean, really bad. Cade Klubnik in this game, 19 of 38. That's 50%. Family. Not good. Your quarterback averaged 6.1 yards per completion and is a -1 QBR.
We built this program on NIL.
I said -1 QBR. That's how bad they were. You realize that Clemson ran for 31 yards? 31 yards. Did I mention that LSU ran for 108 and averaged 3.5 yards a carry? And they averaged 8.6 yards a reception. LSU. And we can sit around and we can sit here and we can talk about all the things you want. But I'm telling you now, when you have 4 tackles for loss against Clemson, you're doing something, because Cade Klubnik's tough to bring down. And they also had 2 sacks. And the shocking thing is Clemson actually had 8 tackles for loss and lost the game because their offense was so bad. And you listen to Dabo after the game. I don't know if Dabo was in the rectory stealing wine. I have no idea what he was thinking right here.
I mean, if we make the first tackle, Wade's got the guy. He's got. I don't even know how his knee didn't go down, but he, without that run, like I said, the last 58 minutes is 2.8, and that is a physical group. It's a very smart quarterback, and that is a back. So they're going to be a problem, and they got some explosive dudes, and it was a hell of a game. was a hell of a game. Down the last play. Right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65, we made a 58. Neither one of us were great.
What?
I have no idea what game Dabo watched, and neither does Brian Kelly.
We dominated him in the second half. So he's either a really good grader for, giving himself a 58, or he's a really hard grader on us, or he didn't see the second half, which that might be the case. He might not have wanted to see the second half.
Epic, dude.
Your defense put up. Here's where you guys look at statistics differently. Everybody looks at, well, he did this and they did. The statistics, stats. How about stats? The stats you care about are team stats. Clemson had 8 tackles for loss. Okay, they dominated. LSU had the ball for 37 minutes and 10 seconds. That's a lot.
Bro.
Clemson had it for 22 minutes and 50 seconds. Call it 23, hell. Right? You can't average 1.6 yards per carry. You can't do it. You cannot, under any circumstance, try to run the ball just 20 times a game against LSU, because they're going to eat you alive. And they did. And they ran for 108 yards. And the scariest part about this is when you look at Nussmeier in this game and you say to yourself, well, 28 of 38 for 230. Yeah, that's 74% completion. You gave up 74% completion in the other team, and they outran you, and they dominated the clock. This was not a one-score game. And I know the scoreboard says differently, but I think LSU is absolutely a national championship contender.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they looked really good, and I thought they did a good job in crunch time. Thought, obviously, there was a lot made of Brian Kelly's streak of losing the opener, coming into this game, and so I thought that was really good for him to get off of that trend. But yeah, I mean, LSU looked really good, and yeah, I mean, I think Nussmeier, needs to continue to protect the football. Again, we talked so much about it last week. Last year, he threw a lot of interceptions. So if he can continue, to keep the ball safe, relatively speaking, if he can lower those numbers a little bit and continue to play well, they're gonna be fine. But it needs to be said that I just think LSU played a really complete game against Clemson, and it was closer than it probably should have been, but for Dabo to be sitting here saying that they both played a bad game and that he just played a worse game, that to me that's an embarrassing take, in my opinion. That, like, I don't know how you sit there and you're like, yeah, we both played crappy football, even though LSU didn't play crappy football, but we both played crappy football and we just played crappier football. Like, come on, dude. You should just be accountable and just say, yeah, you know what? Like, they made plays at the end there that and we didn't. And that's why they came out on top, and we'll make adjustments. I will never understand why Dabo tries to spin it and do all that. And I'm guessing he's trying to save face, because we all know that Klubnik was in the Heisman, pool coming into this season. And I think right now we can kind of put that to the side, honestly.
Yeah, and I think you look at one of the storylines out of this weekend is who's got the best defense in the country. It's a pick 'em between Ohio State, Texas, Utah certainly has to be in that conversation. LSU's got to be in that conversation. And I'll continue to say that. You look at, and this is, and maybe I'm shining Ohio State too much, but that's what makes that win probably the best win of the weekend, is how Ohio State won the game. Because you had a young quarterback that's inexperienced, not look so inexperienced. Right? Your defense showed out. I don't think there's any question. Texas's defense is absolutely, again, well coordinated, well schemed, well prepared. Nothing Ohio State ran at them. That's the best wide receiver room in the country, I think, at Ohio State. And Texas's secondary played exceptionally well. And Ohio State still found a way to win the game because the quarterback was more prepared than Sark and Arch. And I look at LSU, Nussmeier absolutely came through, right? You look at, you just look at the wins and losses, and I think as bad as Mike Denbrock's play calling was on offense for Notre Dame, Matt Patricia's probably the coordinator of the weekend, right? I mean, that was unbelievable defense out of Ohio State. So I think with Judah Bites, I think we have to consider that Sand has had a year in this program. Underwood is a true freshman. Listen, the thing that worries me about Bryce Underwood, he didn't know where the play was flowing. And the scariest thing about young quarterbacks, CJ Carr can get away with that on a certain level because he does have elite athletes at wide receiver. He's got an incredible defense. Michigan doesn't have either of those. Right? Bryce Underwood has to be the guy for those scumbag cheaters up north that carries the lunch pail every week. He's got to be excellent or they're going to lose games.
Yep.
And that was New Mexico. Right? And that's, I think, the enormity of the pressure. I talked about this on Friday too. The enormity of the pressure that the money brought to Bryce Underwood and all of his celebrating of this money and being this rich kid. You're not Shador. You're not set up to handle that. You haven't lived a life in that environment. And when you come in as a true freshman, he didn't win the job. I think we all agree with that, but he was always going to be the starter because you don't pay a kid that much money, I don't know, like Arch Manning, and have him sit on the bench all year.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, I think as poorly as Sharon handled his quarterbacks last year, because that was absolutely humiliating, this could be worse than that. Because if he takes a step back and he is not able to, because he just, and I encourage you to go look at it, and Michigan fans, I know you're probably losing your mind over it, but if you go back and look at Bryce's plays, he's looking in the wrong spot repeatedly. Like, it's not like, hey, let me have my head over here and my eyes are over here. Dude, he ain't got eyes going anywhere but locked on the guy he wants to, not designed to, wants to throw the football to. You can't play quarterback like that.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's what worries me so much about, right? But I look around the Big Ten, the most impressive quarterback in the Big Ten. Dude, I didn't see anybody better than USC. And I know that's crazy. I know that's absolutely crazy. I think if you're a Michigan fan, you needed Michigan to do what USC did to Missouri State. 73-13. 73-13. And what should scare you if you're a Michigan fan is Jaden Mayava, who has been a cast-off and nobody wanted him, and he sucks, and Jaden Mayava, 15 of 18, 295 yards, 16.4 average, 2 touchdowns. What does that tell you? If I say to you, hey, your quarterback was 15 of 18 for 295 yards, forget the touchdowns. He knew where the ball was supposed to go, and he put it there.
Very confident in what he was supposed to be doing.
He knew right where he was going, where the play was designed to go. Okay, well, it's Missouri State. He brought guys were open. Okay, cool. It's New Mexico. You're Michigan. Guys should be open. Quarterback doesn't know where to put the football. Quarterback doesn't know the system. Quarterback's not comfortable in the system. So, Jedi Buck wasn't even talking about Notre Dame, you silly bozo Brian. Whoa. We're getting serious. Oak State, oh boy, you guys look like shit. Dude, if you
It's literally week 1, and there's already controversy between the mullet and future opponents.
Can somebody explain to me what is going on in Stillwater? Because I want to understand it. And I actually took the time. When I saw that Oak State only put up 27 points, I was like, what? Zane Flores, like God's gift to quarterbacks. 13 and 20, 136 yards against UT. You guys only threw for 232 yards?
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Well, then you ran for 7,836 yards, right? Oh, no, only 120. And you only averaged 3 yards a run? Under 8 yards of completion? Well, the defense must have nope, defense didn't dominate. We won the turn. We controlled the clock. We dominated. Oh, wait, we only beat them by 2 minutes. Well, UT Martin must have had a ton of penalties. Nope, 7 for 50, and actually you guys were 5 for 55. Oh, so this is the exact same team it was last year. Oh, okay, that makes total sense.
I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
Well, Monty, the defense is way better. Oh, it turns out they're not. This defense gave up 116 yards rushing.
The dynasty is not over.
That's interesting. But they dominate. Oh, wait, they converted 45% of their third downs. Yeah, you guys are going to suck.
That's right, T.
Not good. Eric Wasikowski, go blue. Underwood better than Manning.
Okay,
you
so
really
you
should
say
stop
things
smoking
like
crack.
that, and then you wonder why people come after you.
Dear Mom, Chad Carter. Dear Mom, wait. Eric, a member of the show for 20 months. And I think we all just agree we anoint him dumbass comment of the day. Let me just go ahead and pin that on your
Yeah,
FedEx
notice he's
uniform.
changed his avatar now.
Probably should. The Chad Carter, a member for 19 months. Dear Mom, people are being mean. Signed, Kalen DeBoer, Arch Manning, and Bill Belichick.
Oh, we're going to get to Kalen DeBoer. Don't you worry.
No, we will. Chewy Gonzalez, a member for 9 months. UNC offense looked flat like Jordan Hudson's chest.
Take it easy.
Wow. Chewy for $2. LSU is a real Death Valley. You're welcome. Hey, look at that. David Persons, congratulations. You can feel good this week until next week. 48-14. Will TCU ever get credit for anything? I just sat here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we slurped TCU pretty good today.
Are you out of your mind? What are you talking about? Did I not give him enough? Did I not? Are you being serious? Like I just sat here. I give up.
You know,
you can't make them feel better. Some days you just can't never nothing right. You know, I just talked about Josh Hoover. Talked about the most impressive thing wasn't even the offense; it was the defense. You know, you look at Bud Clark. I thought the Bud Clark interception was unbelievable. I don't know what else you want me to say about TCU that I haven't said because I think they look great. Brian for $2. Bryce Underwood is what y'all thought Arch was. Okay, no. Bryce Underwood doesn't know where to throw the football. What are you talking about? Why is Gundy trash talking Oregon? Idiot move. I don't know. And I am fascinated by it.
Well, same thing as you. They're a good football team. You know, Oregon is playing really well. You know, I think they're well coached. They're spending a lot of money, and you know they've put a lot into that organization. And you can see they're a good football team.
Michael, how many times are we going to have to talk about this? How many times?
Stop having your agent call, Monty. We're not talking NIL.
Mike, go back to fixing appliances in your media room. Because every time you talk about how somebody else is well paid, it reminds us all that Oak State should have fired your ass this summer, but chose not to. Instead, they gave you a pay cut so you could afford NIL. And you suck out loud. You didn't get better players. God's gift to quarterbacks didn't look, Bryce Underwood didn't look better either. But
With all due respect.
Why are you lighting Dan Lanning on fire?
Yeah, it sounds like there is, listening to him talk. Like I said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy.
ultimately, how blessed are we to be in a place that's invested in winning? If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning. And we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't, right? And ultimately, like, he's a great coach. They've done an unbelievable job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level. And we're really fortunate to be in that situation. So I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea, what they got in their pockets over there. I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they played. So,
oh my God,
we spend to win. Some people don't.
And then
I've been
make
trying
excuses as to why they lose.
I've been trying, and I'm going to play that bite again because I think it's really important. I want Oak State fans to have a chance here. Drop your drawers and just bend over because Dan Lanning's on the way. You listen to what the position, and I know that guys like Oak State James and every other Oak State fan on this show want to come in here and they want to be like, oh, you're too hard on Gundy. He's a legend. Oh, my God. You quite literally, Dan Lanning walked your no swimming ass into the deep end and left you there.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Baywatch ain't coming to save you. And I hope at some point, Oak State fan, you finally wake up to the idea your guy who took a pay cut to pay for NIL can't keep crying poor as an excuse for being a shitty football coach. At some point, you're actually gonna, I know, let's get crazy, want to try and win a football game over somebody that matters. And before you go on the road to Autzen, you might want to, I don't know, pull back the rhetoric about how poor you are when you're playing in a place that's named after a dude named T. Boone. How on earth are you complaining about the money that they're spending when you refused to spend money? How, my guy? Like, and it never ends. And we, again, can sit here and make excuses. Come Saturday afternoon at 12:30 Pacific, when you're 6 feet under Autzen Stadium, I don't want to hear two words next Monday about anything other than Mike Gundy's on the clock, because we need a football coach who spends to win. We need a football coach who does everything that he needs to do to get the recruits required to compete with schools like, I don't know, Oregon.
Yeah, it sounds like there is, listening to him talk. Like I said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy. Ultimately, how blessed are we to be in a place that's invested in winning? If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning. And we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't, right? And ultimately, like, he's a great coach. They've done an unbelievable job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level. And we're really fortunate to be in that situation. So I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea, what they got in their pockets over there. I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they played. So
I'm a man.
Damn.
And I would remind you, Gundy said this the week before going to Oregon.
What?
When you haven't won anything in literal years.
Because it's garbage.
You decided to light Dan Lanning on fire, and now he's going to end your coaching career. Because again, I'll tell you, Oak State did not have a good portal. Zane Hengy isn't a good quarterback. Put him together through some weird mashing of DNA, and they both suck, so collectively they'll suck more. You're done. You've been done. You should have been done. And now Oak State fans are going to pay for it for yet another season.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
You're going to lose a lot of games.
A lot.
Monty's rant against Notre Dame, sponsored by Tums. I'm not, and again, I want you to understand, I'm not even being emotional about Notre Dame. I am telling you exact positional coaching, quarterback, offensive line.
Say Notre Dame sucks.
They're just not good enough. They're not The problem is, how many times do I tell you, well, North Carolina is just not talented. Notre Dame's got one of the most talented rosters in the country, and we're paid like it. And you gave Jeremiah Love the week off in one of the 2 games of consequence on your schedule. And I'm supposed to sit here and be like, oh, well, Monty, did you see the guys? I got to tell you, Monty, the way they make the cross in church in South Bend, that football team has been working on that. Thoughts and prayers from Marcus Freeman.
In
Amen
God's
to that.
name, image, and likeness.
Not wrong show. Wrong show. Because I'm telling you, we're off this week, and then A&M comes to the stadium. No excuses.
Program.
Bury him. No excuse. Oh, wait, we don't have the talent for that. Because do I have to remind you that there's not a team of consequence on Notre Dame's schedule the rest of the year? We play Texas A&M, and then we go on this unbelievable run of Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State, USC, at Boston College, Navy, at Pitt, Syracuse, at Stanford. Well, goddamn, Monty.
What really do we have to lose?
Where's fat-ass Ward Manuel when you need him? Strength of schedule matters. Strength of opponent matters.
Well,
quality
USC figures
P4
to be a
wins
quality
matter.
opponent, right?
We'll see. I
Better
need your
hope.
boy Lincoln to come through.
He ain't my boy. That ain't my boy.
You know, listen, I think it is remarkable to me that Notre Dame's in this spot. It's crazy. The eye
Again.
patch, go Utes. Might be the quarterback of the weekend right there. Because is nobody going to apologize to me for all the smack you ran about Kyle Whittingham? Nico, I am your mama, got his ass kicked. Now, am I to believe that that's the greatest quarterback that's ever been shitty against Utah? No. They beat a P4. Well, who are we kidding? They beat UCLA, who, what did I tell you Friday? Not ready, not well prepared, not well coached. What did we see? I saw Devin Dampier, 21 of 25. Is that a good percentage? I'm going to have to get back to you on that. But my math says that's 84%.
Facts.
Oh, Monty, he can't complete passes, Monty.
That little guy can't compete.
He's a runner. Turns out he threw the ball 25 times, completed 21 of them, and led the entire game in rushing, 16 for 87. Wait, again, is 5.4 yards per carry good or no? Nah, not good. Not good. I'm going to say it's good. And the story that nobody's talking about is this little dude named Smith Snowden. You guys see that he played both ways on the football field? 6 for 51. And then I would also remind you that Smith Snowden's a pretty good defensive player as well.
I'm a fucking unit.
Yeah. Had a tackle. It was solo, you know. And I'd also remind you that, and I continue to tell you, if you don't know the last name Fano, F-A-N-O, Logan Fano had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass defended as a defensive end. His brother Spencer and that offensive line are the best offensive line in the country.
I'm for real.
And if you don't believe me, just ask your $4 million quarterback, Nico, I am your mama, who was sacked 4 times. And now I could be wrong, but again, they ran for 3 yards a carry against Utah. That's bad, I think. It is bad, really bad. Utah's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to like it. If you're a Big 12 fan, you probably hate it. You know. Lee says, sorry, Monty, to say Arch outplayed Saiyan is flat wrong. Did you watch the game? So, Lee, you're new to the show, I think. I want details as to how Saiyan outplayed Arch Manning. And I'm going to warn you, I've watched that game one time all the way through, and then I looked at every play for Arch Manning. He was terrible in the first half, turned it around early in the third quarter, and then was really good the rest of the ballgame. Julian Sayin was very careful. And I'm not saying that's his fault. The play calling was very conservative, as it should have been, because they've got the best defense in the country. And the idea that you want to come back and say, "Oh, hey, Julian Sayin is good. Arch Manning's better than Julian Sayin." And he played better, especially in the second half and in total. Playing from behind, having to run and throw the football, having to operate, he didn't have the luxury of being a passive quarterback in the second half like Julian Sayin was. It's not an indictment of Julian Sayin to say that Arch Manning played better. So many people are digging holes in the ground that match the silhouette of Arch Manning. The guy didn't play that poorly. I don't know how to break it to you. He didn't play that poorly. Did he have an unbelievable performance? No. Was it clean? Absolutely not. But when I look at his numbers, when PFF rates you a 72-2, I'm going to say, yeah, that's pretty good. You know what his fourth quarter PFF rating was? 100 being the best. What do you think his PFF grade in the fourth quarter was? 91.6. Any questions? Arch Manning is the real deal against the best defense in the country. 91.6 in the fourth quarter. And looking at his call sheet, I'm telling you, every week, that Texas offensive line is going to get better every single week. And I don't know how to break this to the Julian Sayin is somehow the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. I'd slow your roll about Arch Manning, because if you're an Ohio State fan, you're one of the smarter fans in college football. There's no question about that. Anybody that's going to come on this show and say that Sayin outplayed Arch Manning, you better have facts to back it up, because the numbers don't say he did. The numbers don't say he did. He threw the ball 20 times, Julian Sayin. Arch Manning threw it 31 times and ran 10 times for 38 yards. Julian Sayin, 2 carries, 2 yards. He's not asked to do much. Now, it's not his fault. That's not his fault. C.J. Donaldson, I thought, was untackleable at some points. Just couldn't tackle the guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that you can't get away from. You've got Tate Smith. I thought Max Clare was completely invisible in this game. And somebody will have to educate me on where the hell he went. Brandon Inniss, invisible in this game. Trying to force the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I understand it. Wrong decision. Spread the football around. Julian Sayin's not ready to do that yet. That's when you have that level of wide receiver, it's inexcusable. If you're going to run the way they ran, it's inexcusable to only put up 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. So, like, we got all these people commenting like, oh, Arch didn't play well. He had all these bad throws. I think what people don't understand.
Correct.
I think what people don't understand is that is the ask of these two quarterbacks was completely different. And I think one of the things that is not real attractive right now to say about Julian Sayin is basically the point you're trying to make, which is, hey, like, they didn't really ask him to do a whole lot. It wasn't really all that exotic. And, like, go and look at the guys he's throwing to. How many drops is Jeremiah Smith gonna have in this game, right? Jeez. How many times is there going to be a receiver that drops a pass? And so I was watching this game and I was like, well, hey, these aren't real difficult passes. Like, you're basically throwing it at 8 yards down the field. You're throwing it at the line of scrimmage. You're letting, you're trying to play the screen game a little bit. Like, they were trying to get Julian Sayin into the game, and it took them a while to do that because dudes kept dropping the ball. So, I then think they pivoted to running the football. They just didn't ask him to do a whole lot. And I feel like I was extremely frustrated with Arch's performance from the standpoint of, he had several throws that were just not good throws, right? Like, you just overthrew the guy, throws. You were way short. Like, so if you watch the game and you're reacting in real time, you're like, yeah, that was a terrible throw, dude. What, like if you're a big time quarterback, you got to make that throw. There was one to the left sideline. I can't remember who the receiver was, but he just overthrew it by a mile. Wasn't even close. But then what you begin to realize is that what they're asking him to do, and it's hard to measure, obviously, but I would say it was probably 2 to 3 times the ask of what they asked Julian Sand to do. And ultimately what you wind up realizing is, yeah, you know what? Like, Arch Manning is going up against the best defense in the country. They're asking him to shoulder the load, like just like Quinn Ewers did last year. And what was, again, my main point is the most disappointing part of the Texas thing is that the play calling just was not quick enough to adapt in the first half based on what Ohio State was doing. That was my biggest gripe. Ohio State was daring you to run the football with Arch, right? They were daring you.
Well, Jake, I think, and this morning at 5:50, I'm watching every one of Julian Sand's snaps, and they're on YouTube. I encourage you, get on YouTube. You can see every one of his throws. Go look at how inaccurate he was, even the touchdown pass. And again, my advice to you, the bad throws are the bad throws. Every quarterback, Tom Brady, I don't care who it is, the greatest quarterbacks ever, they have bad throws.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at the successful plays. And if you look at the touchdown, and I'm sure I can even bring it up, I can't play it for you on the show, but if you go back and you just go look at the touchdown, like, the touchdown is so horribly underthrown, and it is a spectacular catch by Carnell Tate. Like, it is spectacular. It's why I love that kid so much. Julian Sand is going to get better every week. This was not any kind of virtuoso performance. They did not ask him to make complex throws. The majority of his throws were on the sideline. And go back and look, and I think the play sheet that he had of his, I think he had 9 second quarter throws. I might be wrong about that. The completions were on average 1.5 yards open. The nearest Texas defender was 1.5 yards from the target. So you're in a situation where the throw's not difficult. Now, is this an indictment on Julian Sand? It's not. But if you're going to come in here and say that Julian Sand outplayed Arch Manning, go watch the fucking game, my friend, because that did not happen. That did not happen. Arch Manning, especially in the second half, was a superior quarterback to Julian Sand. He was trailing, and he had to be more aggressive. But you go look at the plays, and the film does not lie. That you go look at just get on. If you get on, go on Twitter, I would imagine. Get on Twitter. Go to, I think there's 1,001 phenomenal Buckeye Twitter accounts that have all the highlights. If you go look at the Carnell Tate touchdown, it is a terrible throw. It is not a good throw. It is not a mediocre. It is so underthrown. If the back gets his head around, that's an interception. If Tate doesn't make some unbelievable catch, because the ball needs to be here, right? Like, it's here. He's outstretched like this. The ball is behind him. It needs to be here. He's right here. It's not an indictment. It's not an insult to say Arch Manning outplayed Julian Sand. If you actually go and analyze it and look at it, especially in the second half, Arch Manning was an elite passer in the fourth quarter. Like, it was night and day. Even night and day for Arch from the third to the fourth quarter, I would say. But you do you. Let's see. Look at the pass Sand made with linemen draped all over him that got... Okay, so give me a timestamp on it, and I'll look exactly at it. Because I'm telling you, I have the YouTube tape right here in front of me. Give me a timestamp, and I'll tell you about it. Because I can give you exact timestamps, and I can tell you right now. Like, you go back and you look at his first quarter throw. Play the game with me. 5:52 in the quarter. He has got Jeremiah Smith wide open on an easy screen pass. That's a wide open receiver. You look at 5:07, wide open receiver. You look at the drop at 4.5 minutes, wide open receiver. You look at the screenplay that Jeremiah dropped, under pressure, wide open receiver. Good throw, right? You look at that, the 1:13 to go in the first quarter, wide open receiver. 14 minutes left in the first half, wide open receiver to a tight end. 13:32, throw to the sideline, terrible throw, out of bounds, uncatchable ball. You look at 13:25, good throw, guy should have caught the football, right? You look at the play where they get that first down in the end zone. That's a great throw, no doubt about it. You look at the screen pass out to the sideline with 2 minutes left. That is a terrible throw that should have been picked off for a touchdown. Texas didn't get it. Like, I can break down every one of these throws for you. I have a note on every single one of them. And I'm telling you, it's okay. He's a young quarterback who's inexperienced, didn't have a great second half by any stretch of the imagination. So Arch on the other stuff, and it's stuff like this. Arch got a ton of his yards off soft coverage. There's no garbage time when you lose by a touchdown.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as garbage time in this game. Like, it's wild to me that Ohio State fan just can't embrace the fact you won a game with an inexperienced quarterback at home, and you should feel good about that. If that game's in Austin, you lost. Because the script would be flipped. If that was on a neutral site, you're probably losing. But you were at home, which is how it's supposed to work. Right? Like, I think you have to get to the point where you have to understand where these quarterbacks are. And again, if you look at the headline quarterbacks, CJ Carr, not good enough. Bryce Underwood, probably a C at best in a grade. I look at Arch Manning, the first half was terrible. That's probably a C. I look at Julian Sand, it's probably a C. I don't know, other than Devin Dampier, an A+, I don't know that there's a whole lot of A+ stuff happening across the country this weekend. Because we're in an era where guys are making so much money. Oh, his name just went right out of my head. The starting quarterback at Colorado. You look at Colorado. Oh, I'm glad I remembered to bring this up. You look at Colorado, and everybody was asking, well, how are you going to replace Shedeur Sanders? Well, I can tell you right now, it's not with Caden Salter, because Caden Salter cost Colorado a win. And just, you want to talk about a bad football performance. That's a cat who can't hit a wide open receiver for a game, probably a game-winning touchdown at that point. And absolutely took the air out of your defense, because he missed 3, 4, probably 5 wide open receivers in the fourth quarter where it's a first down or a touchdown. Caden Salter absolutely crippled Colorado. And as ineffective as Haynes King was running the ball, throwing the ball, he dominated Colorado on the ground. Like, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Hey, look, Jimmy wants to insult people. What an idiot. Ohio State was in prevent, blind boy. You're not in prevent. You don't get to play prevent with a one. Like, you guys, this is what I am imagining, is that you guys just insult people. And I'll never understand it. It's not like, if you look around the Big Ten, I'm not saying Julian Sand is worse than Drew Aller, who I think is an absolute shit quarterback and is not going to be an NFL prospect. He's clearly better than Bryce Underwood. Like, it's not like the kid sucks. He's playing one of the best defenses in the country. But if you're going to compare him to apples, Arch Manning versus Julian Sand, Arch Manning was significantly better in the second half. And you can sit here, and I'm watching literally, and I can show you, it's copyrighted. Get on YouTube, and I'll tell you the exact name, or even yet I'll find the Twitter account. Go look at Arch Manning's throws. Go look at every one of them. They're on Twitter. And if you look at Arch Manning, you're going to see that in the second half, in no way, shape, or form was Ohio State in prevent or whatever you want to call it. They're in no way, shape, or form. Like, you look at where they're down 14-0, they're not. Ohio State is in no way in a prevent defense. The touchdown pass is in no way a prevent defense. You look at that route and you look at the throw he makes with 4:05 to go in the fourth, in no way is Ohio State playing a prevent defense. It's man coverage, and you just got beat. You got beat. It's an inside go. It's an inside route. The throw to the end zone for the touchdown is a very simple concept. You're just running a guy to the pylon, and he ran by your corner. I don't know how you're arguing that. That's not prevent defense. You just got beat in coverage. So we can sit here and we can make excuses about it. But I look at the fact that Matthews Jr. gets beat in man coverage. That's the name of the game. And what guys who are criticizing what you guys are forgetting is that you're looking at somebody, I don't give a rat's ass who played better, Sayin or Arch Manning. I am looking at hard statistics and concepts. I'm looking at what the defense is trying to do to that quarterback. Arch Manning fully understood where to keep his head, to keep Caleb Downs on the touchdown pass. You go watch this, and I'll read you my note. Arch Manning continues to keep his eyes on the left hash mark to keep Downs from covering the pylon on the far side. And why does that matter? Because Matthews Jr. gets beat in one-on-one coverage. Newsflash, everybody gets beat in one-on-one coverage. It's the nature of the beast. Have you ever seen a cornerback running a go route and he's running past the wide receiver? No. The wide receiver is always ahead. What you're counting on is the quarterback not making a throw. Arch made the throw. That's not prevent. That's not soft garbage time. That's a quarterback making a good throw to a wide receiver who's got to step on Matthews Jr. But you want to call me stupid or whatever. What an idiot. You want to say I'm an idiot because I'm not going to sit here and knob Ohio State and say that they were perfect. They weren't perfect, but you know what? They were better than Texas.
Yeah, and here's a flashback to reality, Ohio State fan. You scored 14 points. Congratulations. Nice job. 14 points. Hell of an offense. You didn't have, with all due respect, you didn't have some just unreal performance, dude. And you guys are out here in the comments section acting like Julian Sayin threw for 350 and 5 touchdowns and was just incredible. That's not the case. And again, this is why you're fans and not actual, opinion makers or whatever you want to call it. You're just sitting here saying, oh, well, Arch lost the game and he looked like crap and yada, yada, yada. But you don't have an informed take. That's the problem. And I sit here and no, I'm not pleased with Arch's performance. No, I'm not sitting here saying that Arch somehow blew anybody away because he didn't. And I don't think anyone disagrees with that. But what I do think that Arch showed, which this is where everybody apparently disagrees, is that he can go into a place, he can battle through adversity, he can play from behind, and he can make it interesting. And notice what Ohio State fan is not talking about here. That game shouldn't even been close. You're sitting here clowning on Arch Manning. If he was so terrible, then why was it a one-possession game at the end of the game?
Well, and I think the other thing that's very clear is Ohio State ran the ball unbelievably well. So you didn't need Julian Sayin to have 300 yards and multiple. You did a good job. But we're not talking about the offense as a whole. We're talking about the two quarterbacks. And the thing that stands out to me is everybody wants to bury Arch Manning as somehow this guy who cost Texas the game. In the first half, probably not a great performance by Arch at all. But in the fourth quarter, he was significantly better. And he was the significantly better quarterback in the second half. And again, I think it's I can tell you the Twitter account that has every one of Arch's throw or every one of Sayin's throws is Mr. Ohio. Get on Twitter and go watch every one of his throws. It's the quickest way I know how to get you there. because it's really important that you understand Julian Sayin had a good game. But is he the reason they won that game? No, I'm going to go ahead and say your defense, which again is the best defense in the country at Ohio State. That's why you won the game. And I think that when you just got to find a way. You got to find a way to unattach yourself. If you're going to have a conversation and you're going to say that Julian Sayin played much better, as some of you are saying, come on, not much better. It's a Blue Clown Tuesday on the Monty Show. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Jimmy, so Texas defense sucks? No, who said that? I said they're the second best defense I saw this weekend. Who said Texas sucks? And that's why we only got 14. No. Why are you so defensive? Oh, hi. This is why we shouldn't read non-member comments. It's amazing to me. The completion percentage clearly says it's Sam played better and way more consistent. No, it does not. No. Completion percentage is nearly the stat. You want to never look at completion percentage in the micro. Look at it in the macro. When you look at completion percentage, you absolutely want to look at that in a month, in a quarter, half your season, a whole season. Look at it if you're going to look at completion percentage game to game, you need to look at exactly the concepts. How open was he? Look at the gaps. Subscribe to the stat websites like I do so you understand the gap from defender to receiver when the ball is on frame. You need to know those things. If you're going to look at completion percentage and say that's why he outplayed Arch Manning, the coverage inside of 8 yards by Ohio State was significantly tighter than what Texas played. Texas wasn't Ohio State. Much to their credit, and I don't know why they went away from it in the second half because I think it killed them. In the first half, they literally were lining up, and you could put your hands inside that dude's jockstrap at the line. They were in a lot of those situations, like looking at Arch's throws. In a lot of those situations, you have tight coverage, and Ohio State won. Ohio State won. And that was in the first half. And you look at the throws that should really impress you out of Arch Manning. Look at how well he did out of the pocket. His trouble came when he stood in the pocket, planted his front foot, and did not throw the football well, especially in the first half. You look at some of like the long throws in the second quarter that were like the double coverage throw with 2 minutes to go was a horrendous decision. The throw in the middle of the field, terrible decision. But then you get him outside the pocket and he does a little shovel pass. And it's like, Jesus, where was that? Right? The third quarter, he starts moving the sideline screen with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Unbelievable throw. Unbelievable throw. And now you start seeing, hey, good concepts. And then what did he do? He makes a huge mistake and throws the interception way out on a lame duck pass that Matthews stepped in front of. And that was the last bad throw. Because every other throw, with the exception of that one in the fourth quarter that almost got intercepted, every other throw was rock solid. The screen game, where was the screen game for Texas in the first half?
Not being called, which I don't understand.
And you look at the coverage in the end zone on that drive that was like 4 minutes to go in the game. That's the only reason they got that touchdown, because you're 4 minutes to go in the game. Matthews has been running a track meet the entire day, and he gets beaten badly. That's one-on-one coverage. What do the best defenses in the country play? One-on-one coverage. What is Notre Dame, who was considered the best secondary in the country until the other night, man coverage? Ohio State, who I think now is the best secondary in the country, what do they play? Man coverage. And occasionally you're going to get beat. Did it cost him the game? No. But the throw, go look at the throws. Go look at the throws. Anyway, big, sexy, big daddy magic. I'm the only one that ever speaks the facts and leaves emotions out of it. Okay, that's fine. The natural. Oh, boy. The natural is always interesting. So far, Eric E. leads the day for worst overall comments. I don't know who Eric E. is.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Sausage King of Chicago. Abe Froman? Okay. Dude that abides, like Monty says, leave your emotions out of it. We're here to talk ball. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I think Ohio State fan regularly will be like, our quarterback is the best quarterback anybody's ever seen, and don't you dare say anything about it. And I'm just telling you, this is a young kid who they need to at some point. And Ohio State's schedule, I think, is going to dictate this. You're gonna have to at some point. When you look at Julian Sand, you're going to have to turn games over to him. I would love to see him throw the ball 35 times against Grambling. I would love to see him in the Ohio game. And I know you're going to say, well, they got to protect him. Bullshit. You got to get this kid ready, because when you go to Seattle to play the Washington Huskies, zero excuses. That's a tough place to play. And it is probably your most difficult road venue. And so Grambling in Ohio, I'd love to see him throw the ball 30, 35 times, full command of the offense, put him in gun, put him in empty, put him under center, a lot of play action, roll out. Like, you really got to put the control of the offense in Julian Sand's hand for the next 2 weeks, because when you go to Seattle, you better be ready to kick ass, because that Washington game is going to be a trap game. I'm telling you, you beat Texas. You've got 2 easy opponents, and you're staring straight down the barrel of a Washington team who I think beat Colorado State comfortably. I mean, comfortably. And what worries you there is Damon Williams looked fantastic. Like, he looked really good. And Jonah Coleman, the running back at Washington, my God, like, just crushing people's dreams. Washington's going to be a real test. A real test.
They should win that game. They should win that game.
Ohio State's the best team in the country. You should go to Seattle and win, because Washington's going to be middle to bottom of the Big Ten, I think. So we'll see. Monty, you're clearly reaching. Oh, I'm reaching now. Sand was throwing dots outside of a couple of dude, I've got the tape sitting right here. He was not throwing dots. What's a dot? A dot would be right here. A dot would be right here. Bro, go look at the touchdown throw to tape. That's a dot. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is. Okay. You do you, man. Would have gotten blown up too. What do you mean? Vernon Leggett, you didn't throw the ball out of your own end zone. Day saw Arch was rattled and couldn't move the ball. No need to put the ball in danger. You're arguing apples to oranges. And I'm going to let this go, because I don't want to have this argument the entire show. What I'm telling you is, I'm not talking about what they asked him to do or didn't ask him to do. I am grading Julian Sand on the throws. I'm a guy that when we have a huge Ohio State following on this show, I'm going to watch every one of his throws multiple times. Go look at the touchdown throw. Look where the ball was versus where it should have been. Should have been here. You have one of the best wide receivers in the country in Carnell Tate running past a Texas corner. He's gone. And you watch what happens in the gap. It goes like this. And why is that? Because Tate's got to slow down. He goes from this to this, like leaning backward to catch now a conflicted pass, because the ball is so underthrown. He's not throwing dots. This is not, hey, Day saw Arch was rattled. Then what do you say about the fourth quarter? Because I got news for you. Matt Patricia doesn't play prevent defense. He has straight up talked about the fact that his foot is on the gas. 1 point lead, 100-point lead. It is what it is. It was a great throw, but trust me, Julian can make some of the same throws. And that's what I'm sitting here telling you. It's not like I'm telling you Julian Sand sucks. You know, Hey, y'all. Sayan's best qualities are his quick processing and quick arm. He doesn't have the hips to generate elite level power. Not yet. But he's got to be good on the easy throws, and he's got to be great on the impossible throws. Because if you're going to repeat Julian Sayin, you always got to make the in route with Jeremiah running in. You're always going to make that throw. He's going to be on the hash. Like, you're going to throw the ball, and it's going to look like it's 10 yards too far, and it's going to hit him right in the chest. Because you have the best wide receiver in the country, maybe the best offensive player in the country, running an in route. And Sayan's just got to almost lob it out there. Right? That's an easy throw. He's got to be elite on the really difficult throw to take down the hash, down the number. And if you go look at that touchdown, that's what I'm talking about. His best traits are absolutely elite. No question about it. No question about it. Let's see. Wasikowski should move on from Manning. Probably should. You know. Yeah. Mike Smith, I have yet to see any Buckeye fan in here saying Julian is the best quarterback ever. Okay. Mike's in that mood today.
Yeah, Mike's in the pick a fight mood.
Alabama lost, by the way. And I think it is the most difficult loss of the weekend. Because I don't know where you go from here. Ty Simpson was terrible. And again, talking about watching every throw. I'm not going to say he costs Alabama the game. I'm not going to say that. He certainly played a huge role in why Alabama lost this game. And it's really difficult to unwind that watch, right? Like, you start looking at the hows and whys and what the hell happened. I don't know what happened to Alabama. I don't know what Alabama was looking at in this game defensively. And Ty Simpson was terrible at times in this game. I mean, 23 of 43. 254, and he only averaged 5.9 yards. So let's talk about what those numbers mean. 53.5 in a game. Okay. Well, let's look at the total picture. 254 yards, but 5.9 per completion, 2 touchdowns. The hard part is when you look at the way that the game wore on, you just knew you could not count on him, right? They're 2 of 5 on fourth down. Florida State's 2 of 2. Alabama has 341 yards. Florida State has 382 yards on what was supposed to be an elite defense. Never came to fruition. And then you start saying to yourself, well, Florida State only threw for 152 yards. They lost the game, right? No, because they ran for 230 yards on 49 carries. That's 4.7 yards a carry. And it got them 30 minutes of ball. I dare say this game wasn't as close as 31-17.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like I feel like Ty Simpson's the tip of the iceberg. I think Alabama has massive issues. I mean, you look at all the video coming out from game day that was posted yesterday and today about like the warm-up culture and like, you know, just the way they were going about it. And then like you have, you know, you talk about like those Ohio State accounts, you have Alabama accounts posting videos of defenders not making a full effort and like not running as hard as they can. And like, I don't even think that the game, yes, is a conversation, but I think the bigger conversation with Alabama is the culture and what's going on behind the scenes, because this was a game that I felt like, hey, you got off to a nice start, right? You got that early touchdown. You're like, all right, cool. Bama looks like Bama. Ty Simpson looks ready to go. Like, we're in a really good spot. and then the game just gets away from you. You didn't have an answer for Tommy Castellanos. You did not have an answer for the passing game. You didn't have an answer for the fact that you couldn't tackle anybody in this game. And what really concerns me is all the things we're talking about. Like you brought up that stat about Florida State 2 of 2 on fourth down. Those are all hustle and heart opportunities, right? Those are all opportunities of like, hey, are you guys really playing as hard as you can? Are you really, are your fundamentals locked in? Like those are the things that concern me. And of course, everybody went right to the easy take of, oh, well, they're going to fire DeBoer and Saban's coming back. And, and it's so ridiculous that that's what everyone wants to go to, because I don't think Nick Saban wants anything to do with coaching college football again. The dude is golfing like every day of his life. I'm exaggerating, but like he's golfing all the time.
Nobody said Nick Saban golfs every day. Nobody said that.
Right? Like, so I sit here and I say it's not necessarily about firing Kalen DeBoer, but the conversation has to be, look, man, the narrative coming into the season was you were 9-3 last year. You were on the bubble and, Ward Manuel piped you in the CFP. And now you come out in one of the biggest games of the weekend, in my opinion, and you just absolutely flop. And to me, the quarterbacks were hardly the conversation here. The effort defensively by Alabama was abysmal, right? Like it's simple team-based stuff. That is issues for Alabama, which in my opinion is the worst situation it can be for a football team. If you said if you had the arch conversation with Alabama, or if you had, if you just said, hey, well, like the USC conversation from last year, hey, well, you guys worked your ass off in this game, but you just didn't tackle and that cost you the game. At least then you can be like, yeah, everyone's busting their ass. We all feel good. But I felt like this was a game where, yes, and I criticized Mike Norvell. So let me be accountable. Mike Norvell deserves a lot of credit. This team looked ready to go. This team is definitely better from last year's team, and they were clearly game for this Alabama team. Yeah, but Alabama's gotta lock in here, man. That was embarrassing in my opinion.
I have some real concerns about that exact same thing. I look at the effort to close out tackles. There was one particular play where, and I don't remember who the DB was, but where he's running at an angle, right? Mm-hmm. He's like running this way, and he just stops running hard because he's within 5 yards of the out of bounds. And I don't know if he didn't know, but he gave up 3 extra yards. And now all of a sudden, Florida State's in field goal position again. And on the next play, I think it was the next play after that, they go down and they get that big gain. And then from there, it just felt like they started leaning on Bama's defense. And it's that I would much rather a defender hit a guy who's got 1 foot out of bounds and get a late hit penalty.
It was Bray Hubbard, 18.
Bray Hubbard, thank you. I'd much rather Bray Hubbard get a penalty for an unnecessary roughness on the sideline than pull up and give up 3 extra yards to put him in field goal range. And then the next snap, I think it was, they get that big gain. It just shows me you're not a dog. You're not here to fight. Like I can say, having watched every snap of the Miami Notre Dame game, neither one of those teams pulled up on defense. Watching the Ohio State-Texas game, neither one of those teams pulled up on defense. Right? Just all like TCU never took their foot off the gas. You just look at Texas Tech and Baron Morton being upset they took him out of the game. Like you look at all these different things. Utah having Lander Barton catch a touchdown pass, not taking my foot off the gas. Right? Like the best teams we saw this weekend never slowed down and never took their foot off the gas. And I look at things like Bama, which is a terrible loss, took their foot off the gas. And the hard thing to recognize in some of these situations, you have a ton of talent. Alabama has dudes everywhere.
Just stop right there. It's Alabama. Say no more. Say no more. You should have the best talent in the country.
And we're back to the Mike Shula era? Are we back to just being another college in the SEC?
Yeah, right now I think you're sliding that way. I mean, I agree with the take that that the shine, the mystique, the
Nick Saban,
sort of
it's what Castellanos said. They didn't have Nick Saban to save them.
yeah.
Well, you know what? It turns out that's the truth. And I think I saw a lot of things this weekend. I'm sure of Ohio State's the best team in the country, and they can absolutely repeat.
You said they sucked.
Right? No, the quarterback sucked.
Right.
I think LSU's
determined that was a lie.
At my boys in Death Valley, Louisiana.
Hold on. How do you not play AI Brian Kelly? Absolutely
we do.
Dabo.
And I'm warning you guys, there is some very colorful language in here.
I bleeped out the F-bombs. There are some S-bombs, but it is funny as hell.
This is fake. It's AI, but it is amazing.
Dabo Swinney's shitty little ACC football team plays in a basketball conference against a bunch of clown schools like Boston College and Virginia Tech. They get a free fucking ticket to the playoffs every year, only to get their teeth kicked in annually by the first SEC team they face. Last year, Texas did it to them. So when Brian Kelly's Tigers showed up in Clemson, South Carolina today, we were determined to show these fraudulent butt pirates where they really stand. And I'll give them credit for hanging in there. But with 12 minutes remaining, Garrett Nussmeier put those sorry bastards out of their misery with an 11-play drive to put us ahead for good. Anyways, Dabo, thanks for helping me break the week 1 curse. You fucking donkey. I'll see you around, old man.
You effing donkey might be the best way to finish that video, dude.
But watch this. This is real, Brian. This is authentic. This is real, Brian Kelly.
We dominated him in the second half.
How different is that to this?
Dabo Swinney's shitty little ACC football team.
It's not that different, man. It's not that different. That's the thing. It's so good.
You fucking donkey.
Because it's so good. It's so good because it's so good. Dude, in the AI stuff, like during the Harbaugh thing, like it was amazing. The fact that AI put a Southern draw on Brian
Doesn't
Kelly.
get any more red, white, and blue than that.
On Brian Kelly saying donkey is the greatest thing ever.
Dabo.
It is so good.
Gotta be America's team.
It is so good. Oh my God. And it is everything I needed this morning.
And rolling in AI working in butt pirate might have been the best line of the whole video.
It's so good. It is. And as somebody who uses ChatGPT for my business, I can absolutely see whoever made that video typing in and have him say butt pirate. Like I can see it. It's amazing, dude. It is. Yeah, Ramirez. It is amazing. I just love it so much. I do. The Natural. Is there more of a chance for them to get a Dabo or Lanning now with a coaching between or those? Who are you talking? You mean Bama? Dabo's never getting the Bama job.
No.
I think Dan Lanning may be dead to Tuscaloosa because he turned the job down. But I mean, they can get Jim Hart. Oh wait, that's right. He's a cheating scumbag who's banned for the rest of the
Question.
I don't know who you go to there. I mean,
I don't know.
Let me ask you guys.
They wouldn't do Lanning.
Let me ask you this. Bama job comes open. You can hire any coach you want. Who are you going to get? Because my first call, dude, it's probably Dan Lanning. But I mean, I would hope that they would shoot for the biggest fish that they can get. And I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is because is Sark taking the Bama job? Is Lane Kiffin a big fish? Do you want Lane Kiffin at
No,
Bama? Is the heck
he's not
probably
a big enough
not.
fish.
He hasn't won. Right? Sark, okay. Is Sark going to leave Texas? Why would you?
That's why I'm saying I'm not sure based on the coaching pool that they can afford to exile Dan Lanning. I just don't know that that's a possibility for them based on who else would be available.
I don't know that there is, and I think you've got to be patient because the last thing you want to do is fire the guy who replaced Nick Saban. That's a very tough place to be. And when I look at guys like who's the best coach in college football, probably Kirby Smart.
Probably. I mean, I would probably say Ryan Day right now is probably your best coach in college
He's
football.
got one. Ryan's top 5, but if who is the best coach in it's probably Kirby. He's not leaving Georgia. Ryan Day's not leaving Ohio State. Right? Is Sark, who I would put third, is not leaving Texas. So you start looking at guys like Dan Lanning. He already said no once. Can you win a national championship at Oregon? I think that's really tough.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, are you not calling Matt Campbell? Matt's had multiple offers to go other places.
Not a big enough name.
Well, but he is. Matt, Oh my God. If you fired your coach today and Matt Campbell said, yes, I'll take the job, done. You don't even have to do a background check.
Not at Bama.
I disagree. I think he would, but if you look at the other guys, I don't even know where you would go. Honest to God. I
honestly, my first calls would be legitimately, and you're calling these guys knowing they're probably not going to leave, in all fairness to them, like you said. But you're going to call the biggest names, the usual suspects that you've just spent 5 minutes naming, right? You're going to call Ryan Day.
My first call is Sark. My first call is Steve Sarkisian.
You're definitely going to call Sark. Absolutely. I think, dude, I would, not that Kyle Whittingham would say yes, because I think he's trying to finish out at Utah and be done. But I'm certainly calling Witt. I think he's shown an ability to build a program. And I think, again, with all due respect to Utah, I love the guys on the Hill. You have more resources at Alabama. You've got there's just more there to work with. So
I don't just. What about Chris Kleiman?
Yeah, I think worth a phone call.
Now he's struggling. Not great. I'm calling Sark and Matt Campbell. And of course, I should say, in order, I'm going to call my first choice to be Steve Sarkisian. I want dynamic, explosive offense in my football program. I'm calling him, and he's going to bring Pete Kwiatkowski, who I'm going to pay any amount of money he wants to be the defensive coordinator at Alabama. I'm calling Sark first, Kirby second, and then Matt Campbell third. Those are the three guys if I'm replacing. And you're right. If Kyle Whittingham wasn't retiring, I probably would call him fourth.
Would you call Dan?
I probably would not. He said no to me once. I'm not going to beg you to take the Bama job again. I'm not going to do it. And I just think it's tough, man. Like it is.
Not as your head coach, would you have John Gruden on your staff?
Fucking right, I would. Absolutely. That dude can recruit and he can teach people to throw footballs. And I need that all day. I'd hire him I would not probably hire him as my offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely hire him to be on my staff, to be an associate head coach. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. The guy that I think I'm a little concerned about Deion's health, man. He looks.
It's a little rough right now. No question about it.
But I saw Deion's name come up for some bigger jobs of guys getting fired. I don't think he would leave Colorado for anything short of a massive job. And him and Nick Saban are so close. If Bama wanted Deion, I think they could get him. So I don't know. It's tough, man. Like if I'm Ryan Day, I'm never leaving Ohio State. He's such a good fit there, man.
Well, now that you've won a national championship recently, now you're in a place where you should be. I would be there as long as you can be there, and then I would move along.
And aren't you on the verge of winning back? He's on the verge of winning back-to-back national championships.
Yeah,
man.
Best defense in the country, I think. I don't even think it's that controversial.
That's so close. That is so close. But I don't know. Hey, look at that. How about our guy Calford gifting 20 Monty Show memberships. David Persons did the first TCU Super Chat before you spoke. Sorry. Hey, you watch yourself, DP. Big 12 quarterbacks had a pretty good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, and I know nobody probably watched the game because it really was a nothing burger. Anybody notice what Texas Tech did? Baron Morton. That dude, I don't know if he just got off the nipple to throw a football. I think he did. Who are you, Caleb Williams? Probably didn't need to go over the top like that, but it is what it is. I think Texas Tech. I cannot wait for Texas Tech, Utah. I need it tomorrow.
It's tracking to be one of the biggest games in the Big 12, dude.
I need it tomorrow, and I know. Well, Monty, it's Arkansas Pine Bluff. Totally get it. Baron Morton was 6. Yeah, he was 16 of 20 for 201 and 4 touchdowns. What? Like, I mean, the guy was. Their wide receivers look really fast. Texas Tech looks like a bunch of dudes that.
Yeah.
They're really fast. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Arkansas Pine Bluff just doesn't have fast dudes. The Texas Tech wide receivers look hella fast. Like, see you later. Like, that's terrifying. That's a team that'll win a game 42-38. And it may happen where they have to win games where they got to just get let's have the last possession.
You mean like the Abilene game?
Abilene. Yeah, could be. But their defense looks good. Their defense, I don't give a rat's ass. You scrimmaged. Right? But God damn, Baron Morton can throw a football. And then I look at, I mean, did the Big 12 have a good week?
Yeah. Yeah. The
Baylor loss?
Yeah, but nobody gives a damn about the Baylor loss because you beat the hell out of UNC on national TV. So the Big 12 had a good week.
Can I? And this is, I guess, this is just me being a penis. I totally get it.
Stay hard.
Sawyer Robertson threw for. Wait, hold on. I got to clear. I know I have a cataracts. I'm old. I'm dying. That says 419 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you only scored 24 points? What? Oh, that's right, because you guys can't run the ball. My bad. Holy cow.
But Monty, the Wolf of Waco, he's turning it around. 10-win season.
Right. No. He's a defensive guy. Oh, shit. They gave up 38 points. Damn.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Now, they play games with Jackson Arnold throwing the football. Like, that cat. Bad news. He sucks. He also ran for 16, 137 and a score. So you're saying you can't stop the run because you gave up 300 yards rushing to Auburn. Yeah. So let me get this right. Your guy threw for 419. Their guy threw for 108. And again, maybe I have schmengy in my eyes. I don't know. I just blew Arch Manning for 30 minutes. Too much.
Probably.
Stay hard.
Let me get this right. They threw for 108 yards and they out first downs you 25-23. That can't be right. They converted 50% on third down. Jake, call
Monty.
ESPN. That can't be right.
Yeah, ESPN stats have it wrong as usual. It's the ESPN narrative.
Let me get this right. Sawyer, that mother Robertson threw for 419 yards. And you had 483 total yards of offense? You're not good. You're not good. Oh, but Monty, Baylor, and your mom, and Waco, and Car Rash. They're all better than Dave Aranda being a football coach. It's not good. Hey, Calford, did I say that? Calford gifted 20 Monty Show memberships.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Good. But Monty, you're forgetting the most important thing. Texas lost. Alabama lost. And UCF won, boy.
Listen, bro. When you've got after the game during media huddles in Auburn's locker room, when you've got Damari Alston walking around talking about how it's death taxes and Auburn's going to run the football. I'm going to say that the Wolf had a real rough night, dude. Like, come on.
And am I the only one that's like, oh, yeah, all right, UCF won? Again,
Scott
Monty,
Frost, coach of the year.
Don't forget, I don't know ball.
Well, and you're a clown.
I'm a clown. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does that say Jacksonville State? Wait, and I thought that said 17-10?
But Monty.
No, but Monty's. Who are you? Are you Oak State beating UT Martin 27-7 in a cash game?
Apologize.
A cash game?
Houston 27-0 over Stephen F. Austin. But was this a good week for the Big 12? The Baylor loss is a kick in the bag. The Colorado loss is a kick in the bag. I don't think there's any doubt. And if you're a BYU fan, boy, you threw for 138 yards. Still, let me get this right. I know I don't know ball. But if you score 69 points, aren't you supposed to throw for more than 138? It's not comfortable. When you run for 468, and listen, I will continue to say that my guy, Cody Hagan, who I love, I love the way they're making him a dual threat. I am absolutely a fan. But you can't throw for 138 when Jake Retzloff went absolutely nuclear at Tulane. Did you guys see?
Oh, yes.
Jake Retzloff. Monty, how many Utah female fans are in New Orleans? He looked motivated. Hey, boy. He did that against a Big Ten team. Oh, well, it was only Northwestern. Are you Big Ten or not?
Listen. Dude,
Jake,
you're missing the point here. It's the Shower Olympics team.
Correct. And Manischewitz went 18 of 31 for 152 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty average, Monty. Until you figure out he ran 10 times for 113 yards. Pull out all 10 fingers, Marcus. Yeah, that's 11.3 yards a carry and a touchdown.
That was a, hey, Notre Dame doesn't have a quarterback reference for all of you trying to keep up.
Would have loved Manischewitz being Catholic.
Facial recognition.
Yeah, Jake Retzloff looked really good, and Tulane dominated Northwestern. And the fact of the matter is that Tulane had it 33-21, Northwestern 26 minutes and 39 seconds. And as a tip of the cap, they had 421 total yards. Jake Retzloff accounted for 265 of their 421 yards.
Here, let me be the a-hole and say it. Boise State fan, we'll see you next year. We'll see you next year. You are no longer the king of the G5, dude.
It's not good. Mountain. Are you done being a jerk now? Okay, never mind. Mike was upset that I said you can't call people names, and then he says I called people names. I would never.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Rhett's looking good for some Creole cooch. Okay.
Okay. Chill out, dude. Chill out, dude.
Oh, this I've been waiting for. Where's that fucking picture? I want you guys to know it moved a little bit, and I hope I can find it. Snapdragon Stadium.
Twitter's been going crazy.
Empty like.
Oh dear.
Your mom.
Oh dear.
Can I shoot and I want you guys to know, of course I can't find the picture. God dig gummit. I want you guys to know Snapdragon Stadium was absolutely empty at kickoff.
Oh, but Monty, the CW and the Pac-12 and the building's going to be full and we're the best and everything's amazing. Okay. You keep doing cocaine. We'll keep talking college football. Okay. Like, let's relax.
And the best, yeah.
Phil Venzer says he sent you the picture on X in case you were wondering.
Oh, he did. Then I have to get into my notification tabs. I love how you guys are the smartest listeners in sports talk on the Marty program. Because
Hit
now
the like
you guys
button, subscribe because you're so smart. Thank you.
And stuff. Now you guys have figured out that I do not get into my notifications on the old tweet machine. And I don't see it. Phil Venzer. But wow, you guys are crazy on 1, 2, 3.
Oh God, here we go.
4, 5, 7 people sent me Brett McMurphy's tweet where Mike Gundy reacts for the Consumer Cellular commercial. I don't care. Mike Gundy should have been fired last year. It's remarkable. I can't find that picture, you guys. I apologize. I'm getting out of my. Okay, let's read some Monty notifications.
Hey, Monty.
Just while we're sitting here.
Okay, first Duckets. First insult is that you're a clown. I'm going with clown. That's the first insult.
No. This is a Miami Hurricane fan.
Oh God.
Who said you're fat and lazy. Try getting off the couch before you tweet about football. Okay. Matt Kubiaki. Monty, you don't know ball. Go to bed already. Okay. James. Oh, his account he's gone. Okay. Maniacal. I think you're a Michigan fan. He agrees with me.
No, damn.
I knew today would be shitty.
Not asking Julian Sand to do much. I'm sure you're going to quote unquote knee pad him Monday. Yeah. And by the way, Tuesday. How about you ask your Ohio State fans about me knee padding him?
Timothy.
William Dyer, love your podcast. Keep doing what you're doing, and you will keep getting what you're getting. Probably true. Mullick Gundy is Okie State. He's
notice who's not here today. Who have we not seen in attendance today? Oak State. James has disappeared from the program today, apparently.
I probably would after what is going on. Phil Venzer, San Diego State had 13K in attendance. No, that's how many tickets they had sold. The fans were estimating that there were less than 5,000 humans in the stands. By the way, that's not a lot of people. It's not. That's wild. It is. Phil Venzer, bro. So I called, Phil Venzer lives rent free. Last week, he was just bemoaning the parking situation at Allegiant Stadium on the show. So I reached out to some folks at UNLV. You can pay $5 and they'll drop you off at Allegiant Stadium and pick you up. There is a municipal shuttle that'll take you from campus to the stadium so you don't have to pay for parking. Like, come on, man. Jeremiah Champion. Hello, my friend. The majority of their student section was the marching band. Probably. Jim Choice, Snapdragon had more Diego State fans than UCLA fans at the Rose Bowl.
What's Diego State, bro?
San Diego State, Jake.
Right.
Oh, no, that's Florida State. My bad. Rose Bowl was all Ute fans. Tyler Stout. He's stout.
Stay hard.
Look forward to your show every day. Thanks for such an entertaining couple of hours every day. Thank you for being here, Tyler. Appreciate you. The stadium is a failure anyways. You see it, football or soccer, no one shows up and it sucks. It does suck. Absolutely. It's brutal. Phil Venzer, from the campus after driving 20 miles. Yeah, but it is what it is, dude. You don't want to pay, what did you guys say was $50 to park or something? They offer you a $5 shuttle and now the shuttle's too far. Like, come on, man. There's only so much you can do. Anthony Eason. Hey, Anthony. Oh, look at your dog. Are they giving James Madison too many points at Louisville? I kid you not. I was talking to a buddy of mine who bets heavy, and he'll always be like, "Hey, Marty, what do you think of this game?"
Does he know Ipe?
Nobody knows Shohei. Please don't, you guys, please don't bet lines in college football. Can we please not do that? The game on Friday, James Madison, Louisville, the number is 14.5 at 57.5. And James Madison on the spread is -120. Why would you do that? Are you out of your minds? Right? Like it's remarkable. It is remarkable to me. And I don't even know. I don't even know what you do, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? It is in no way, shape, or form. I think it's betting on college football is crazy.
Insanity.
Crazy. Let's see. Marching band mofo. America, boy.
This is fucking America.
Hey, how about the Gators, big blue horses? How about the Gators? It's the 1 week of the year where you guys can feel good about yourselves, right? Too much. Too much. Probably too much. 55-0. Florida beat Long Island. The Sharks from Long Island. What do you guys make of DJ Lagway? And I don't know how many people nobody was watching that game, which I totally get. DJ Lagway, for who he is and what he is, he looked really good. And I think, and I don't want to be the guy who's always like, well, if he does this, they're going to land on the moon. If DJ Lagway is at all competent, and if he has a 70% touchdown interception ratio, their offense is going to be amazing. They'll score 30 points a week. I just don't know how much I want to go all in on DJ Lagway. I agree. My groin tightens up every time I think of it.
Yeah, it's just too soon. You got to see him against real competition.
Wassa Kanowski-Cater. The big house looking good at night. Okay. Chad Perling. Weight check. Oh, how much weight have I lost? Officially 21 pounds. Week 4. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm on a GLP-1. And I should say real quick, because everybody's like, yeah, because you're a fat ass, Monty. Truer words have been spoken. Got my physical on April 2nd or on August 2nd. And me and my doctor have this ritual that we go through every year. Doesn't involve lube or a finger.
Whoa.
He says to me every year, you're fat. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to try harder. Last year, he said, hey, we have these amazing semaglutides. Nah, I'm not going to do that. This year, I said, okay, hey, what do you think of Zepbound? I love it. I just want you to know your insurance won't cover it. Okay, cool. I'm perfectly healthy. My cholesterol, right? My cholesterol is perfect. I don't have any blood sugar issues, like perfectly healthy.
No diabetes?
Nothing. No triglyceride issues. No, I am in perfect health.
Mm-hmm.
I need to lose about 50 pounds. So he says to me, okay, yeah, I'm all on board with it. And he's like, I want you to check in with me. I want you to keep in touch with me. So I wind up going through Lilly Direct. $500 a month. Sucks. It's expensive. My insurance won't cover it. I'm too healthy. My insurance won't cover it. But it works. The first week I lost 12 pounds, all water weight, inflammation. Totally get that. Every week since then, 2 to 3 pounds. Oh, and I shouldn't say that. The third week I stopped, hard stop. Got on the scale this morning. I weigh myself the official number every Tuesday morning. It's 20.9 pounds, 21 pounds. It works. Now, Chaboy, I'm the guy that loves to drop the kids off at the pool. It used to be every day phone polls. Awesomeness. Like literally have an extra long colon. Nah, that stuff ain't happening anymore. Nah, we're not doing redwoods. We're doing boulders now. We're doing bowling balls now. And it's like 3 or 4 times a week because when I'm taking Zepbound, which is a GLP-1, it slows your system down. And I am never hungry. Today I've had half a cup of oats, blueberries, blackberries, creatine, collagen, and chia seeds. And I had, my wife makes roasted potatoes, rolled golds, cut in half, olive oil, sea salt. I had a bunch of those with half of an avocado sliced up and 3 slices of London broil cold cuts. And that'll be all I'll eat today. I've had 2 of these, so I'm kind of behind. Played golf yesterday. Fuck. Park City Golf Club. We got to have a talk. Warming up, 6:30 in the morning, 42 degrees out. Pull my cart up to the driving range. I park on this little grass square. The guy's like, hey, I'm going to turn the sprinklers on. You want to move that? And he points over to the path. My bad, no problem. Move it down there, put it on the cart path. Turns on the sprinklers right into my cart. I mean, soaking like a fire hydrant. So I go running over there and I look at him sitting on the path to my right and he's laughing and he's literally got the finger salute up. My cart is soaked. My clubs are soaking. There's 2 inches of water sitting in the bottom of my bag. So I play the round, and midway through the round, like the course superintendent comes out and says, hey, how's everything? Good to see you guys. I'm like, hey, can you come over here? Comes over to my bag. I pull up my driver, and the handle is just dripping water. They totally refunded my money. I played the entire 18, refunded my money. But it's like every time I go to Park City Mountain Golf, they turn on the sprinklers on me. And they think it's funny, and they're like, yeah, that happens sometimes. And I just don't know. It's 110 rounds, $110 a round per player. And again, they refunded me all of my money. Range balls, because of course, when you pay $220 to play golf, they charge you $12 for a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Pricks. Refunded me my money, but it's like that's my favorite course in Utah to play. And I should say northern Utah because there's one called Copper Rock in southern Utah that I love. I don't know that I'll play there again. It's so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
That they do that. Car Wash Channel. I got Utah 110-0. Utah wins Cal. I think Cal Poly might lose,
a lot.
Yeah. Chad Perling, 21 pounds up. Doctor. Yeah. He's helped me. Monty forgot the rule. Snitches get stitches. There you go. Cubs game about to start. Hey, Mr. Negative. Greg and I are messaging back and forth yesterday. He's like, God damn it. We're losing because the Cubs are down like 50-0 in the.
That's what fucking
after the first pitch.
Fuck off.
After the first pitch, the Cubs are down like 50-0. We come back to win. Carson Kelly. God love you. We're winning this one too, sir.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Why we sent Owen Cassidy down,
What?
I have no idea.
Dude, don't jinx it, bro.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
Taylor Stout, have you played the course in Evanston? Not yet, and I want to. Desperately. I want to. Vegas signed 2 more matchups. BYU versus Oregon State 2028, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Huge. BYU in Las Vegas is a guaranteed
Big
home
time.
run. Guaranteed home run. Monty forgot the rules. I read that one, my bad. Yeah, W's all over the place. W's.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Everywhere. W's. All right, couple other things I want to get to here. Are you guys on board with this AP Top 25? I mentioned it earlier, but I want to get your feedback on this. I hate this Top 25. I totally disagree with it. And I'm very curious. Do you guys buy that LSU is not the number 2 team in the country? Who should be your top 5? in the comments section right now your top 5. We'll get to it right after this from the Advocates.
When you've been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The Advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
Indeed, you do. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. The best thing about the Advocates, they fought your fight many, 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 many times. When you go to the Advocates, you get in a car accident, you get hit while you're riding your bicycle. Have you guys seen all these wrong way drivers in Utah recently? You got to have somebody who's fought that fight for you. It's one of the worst moments of your life when you get in a car accident, you get hit on your bike, you get attacked by a dog. Give that all to the Advocates. Let them handle the claims process. Let them fight the fight for you. You get back to the best version of yourself. And the best part is you don't pay the Advocates out of pocket ever, because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. So you have nothing to lose. Get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Is the AP poll trolling all of us? I don't even know what to make of this anymore. Like I've joked that soccer writers who don't watch games vote in these polls.
Yeah.
How is this not another indication of that? Because I can tell you right now, Ohio State, absolutely number 1. LSU should absolutely be number 2. Miami should absolutely be number 3. And if you want to put Georgia 4, great. I have no problem with that. Texas should be number 5. That should be your top 5. Penn State, Georgia, Oregon. You haven't played anybody. You have done nothing. We've got to get to a place where we are rewarding people for the work that they do early. And if you are Notre Dame and you lose to Miami in Florida, in South Florida, I agree they should be top 10. There are more than 8 teams better than Notre Dame. They played a game early. It was close. They shouldn't be outside the top 10. But Jake, I hate this top 5 with a passion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest issue with this top 25 is Florida State. I don't know how Florida State's not top 10. I would have them top 7 based on the fact that they beat Alabama. I think that, Penn State, I don't know how Penn State's number 2 in the country. You haven't played anybody, and I understand that it's early in the year, and you've got some of this with the AP is reputational, so I totally understand that. But for me, when I look at this, I completely agree. Ohio State's the best team in the country.
Ohio State.
From there, I really do like LSU at number 2. I just think that was a really good win. They've got talent. It's the SEC. They have credibility. So I don't have any issue with LSU being at number 2. I think from there, I would agree that Georgia at 4 is a nice spot. But I would have Georgia at 3. Then I would have Miami, only because Miami to me is a team that if you put them up against Georgia, I'm not picking Miami to win that game. So I would actually have Georgia at 3, and then I have Miami at 4. And then for me,
it's got to be Texas.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're probably Texas. Texas is going to be 5.
How is Clemson still 8?
Yeah, and then from there, Clemson at 8, I feel like is pretty generous. I mean, you play
Florida
the
State
competitive
is
game.
14th.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like Florida State at 14th tells me everything I need to know about this, and Utah at 25 tells me everything I need to know about this. Utah is a top 20 team by anybody's measure, and I don't care who you are. Like, if you watch that game, I understand it was UCLA, and UCLA has some flaws, but you can project that forward, because that's my issue. Just the same way that Penn State fan wants to project that they're the best team in the country and they're everyone's slice of pie. Well, if we're going to do that, then I'm going to go ahead and sit here and say, okay, well, if I put Utah up against Penn State, that's a very close game. Like,
very close,
whether you want to admit it or not. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, if Utah Penn State is close, then I got to go ahead and sit here and say, okay, well, what would Texas versus Penn State look like, or what would what would these different matchups look like? And that's why I struggle with the AP at this point, because I feel like there's, and this is obviously another day, whatever, we've talked about this, but there's two different metrics that they're grading these teams by. And that's the issue. Some teams get the benefit of the doubt of their reputation, like Penn State. Penn State played absolutely nobody.
I'm sorry.
They're still sitting there.
I'm sorry.
Pederast State, cock on thigh, Baldy, Mr. Airport guy, Epstein U, Beavertown, that whole thing. Whiteout U, Joe Pa knew you, ultimately.
Oh my God. I was watching Barstool this morning. Did you guys see the boat? Joe Pa knew. Float. I don't even know where it was. Floating in it, and there was a massive LED screen that said Joe Pa knew. Unbelievable.
So that's my issue. I just feel like we measure these teams differently.
Car Wash Channel for $5. I meant wins, not wings. Autocorrect. I got Utah 110-0. Utah wins versus Cal Poly, and I think the AP is true, but Utah should be ranked 11th. I don't disagree with that at all. I think the AP is not true, but Utah should be ranked much higher. There is no doubt about that in my mind anyway. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Well.
Everybody welcome the brave one. Oak State James. He lives in a rectory and drives a Honda Civic with an electrode in the butthole. God, James, I know you what am I talking about? You watched your boys at TCU last night. Everybody give James's favorite team, TCU, a big round of applause. The resident TCU fan, let's go. Nothing? No. Okay. Top 5, the Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Miami, and Oregon. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't.
James, any thoughts on Dan Lanning absolutely torching your used-to-be fandom team? Any thoughts? I mean...
Okay, Carl. Standing ovation. Look at Car Wash Channel. Clap, clap, clap. Yes, applause, please. Let me and in case Oak State James, because we haven't seen him today, I understand it's a tough day. Here's Mike Gundy.
Well, same thing as you. They're a good football team. Oregon is playing really well. I think they're well coached. They're spending a lot of money, and they've put a lot into that organization. And you can see they're a good football team.
Okay, best team money can buy. Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds like there is. Listening to him talk, like I said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy. Ultimately, how blessed are we to be in a place that's invested in winning? If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning. And we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't, right? And ultimately, he's a great coach. They've done an unbelievable job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level. And we're really fortunate to be in that situation. So I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea, what they got in their pockets over there. I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they played. So.
Oh my God, you guys are not coming back. That's the end of the Oak State program. It's over.
Yeah. Look at that.
Dan Lanning had every right to clap back at Gundy. Gundy needs to mind his own business. No, Gundy needs to get the hell out. He should have been fired already. You know what I'm saying? That's a good one, David E. Person. Exactly right. Standing ovation. Exactly right. I mean, unbelievable, dude. Chad Perling, all Aztec fans were at Burning Man. Oof. How bad has that been, you guys? Wasikowskinator, Jimbo to Oak State Stadium guy, James. Man, everybody is Jimbo Fisher.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Seriously, is Jimbo Fisher the best? That's probably the best Oak State could do. Yeah, I think so.
What, Gus Malzahn's not available?
The Chad Carter. Why did Mike Gundy cut his hair to look like Pat Mahomes? Oh, my God. Did you just say?
Well, same thing as you. They're a good football team. Oregon is playing.
No. Dude, I didn't even see it. That is such a great take.
Well, same thing as you. They're a good football team. Oregon is
that
playing
kind
really
of a
well.
mohawk?
I think they're well coached. They're
That
spending a
feels
lot of
like
money.
kind of a mohawk.
And they've put a lot into that organization, and you can see they're a good football team.
My God. It never, Chad Perling, McDonald's announced this return of the extra value meal and expansion of it. Here's Oak State James. I was celebrating TCU's victory over North Carolina. The only way North Carolina could win against the Frogs is if Belichick's girlfriend flashes the TCU team after the snap of the ball.
Well, I mean, now that she's on the sideline coaching Bill on what to do mid-game, I mean, they're probably better for that.
Dude, you got to stop with this TCU nonsense because it just ain't true, boy.
Is this the dagger?
Bill.
I love it. Greg Perez. Hello, Greg. My fighting Texas Aggie, you mean Texas A&M, will make the playoff. You better hope. You got to beat Notre Dame. Bury Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame has no road back. My friends, no road back whatsoever. It is not possible that they have a road back. I don't even know how you fix it. If Notre Dame loses to Texas A&M, the season's over. It is 100% over. Like, the weird thing for me is that we've turned into this society where we're rooting for people to fail. Right? Like, that's so... It is the exact opposite of what I am as a sports fan. Now, do I hate people in sports? Yes. Do I hate people in life? No. Outside of Jake. No, I don't. I hate the Chicago White Sox. I do. The Green Bay Packers, right?
Anita, Dick, and me.
How do you wind up with Micah Parsons? Because I needed that. But do I want the White Sox? Nothing bad to happen to them except they never win another game. Right? Like, it's just weird. It is true. You are getting sleepy, Monty. TCU rules. I love TCU. I'm a TCU fan. I'm horny like a frog. Yes, it's true.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Not true. Notre Dame will realize that they need to run the ball more and beat the Aggies. Notre Dame 24, A&M 17. Better be. I agree about the Packers. I hate Green Bay. Wait, you said you were a Green Bay fan. Are you sure?
What am I supposed to do with you, James? I mean, how many times are you going to change affiliation, bro?
Wasikowski, Jake's been sleeping all day. Okay.
Not really.
It's when I'm rolling. It's fine. He's rolling. When I'm rolling, it's awfully difficult to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
Speaking of rolling, I'd like to talk about Prize Picks. Anybody see what your boy did on Prize Picks over the weekend?
Yeah, Art didn't do anything. Thanks.
All we do is win, boy.
Yeah, thanks.
I got to tell you something. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. I don't know how I do it. I mean, I'm not only
Quintravian Weiser. Any chance you want to catch a touchdown pass? Any chance you want to, run for a touchdown? Yeah, I mean, anything like that, dude?
Not only am I a gigantic sex machine, but you start looking at the way that I went on Prize Picks and the fact that I went directly for the jugular. And I got to tell you, I took Baron Morton at 2.5 touchdowns. Hell yes, it was a demon. Yes, it was Arkansas Pine Bluff. Boom. Winner. Right? Then you go to my boys, LSU. You take Garrett Nussmeier. You guys ready for the Garrett Nussmeier win? 229.5 passing yards. Took more. 232 passing yards. Boom! I mean, it's unbelievable. And then, of course, and this is where the haters, you guys are not going to appreciate me much. And I want to make sure I get this right, because I don't ideally recall just how crappy he was. Of course I went anti-Bryce Underwood. His number was 1.5 passing or rushing touchdowns. I took less. My guy came through with 1. How do I do it? I don't know. Ask your mom. She knows.
Is that a real question?
Pimp's going pimp, man. I am telling you right now, Prize Picks has Dak Prescott at a half-yard passing. Thursday night, Philadelphia. Half a yard passing.
Dude, did you hear the explanation by Jera on the Micah thing?
I did.
Did you hear that he called Micah Michael? He referred to Micah as Michael 5 different times.
I was going to say he just did that once, right?
Bro, like how many times are you going to call buddy Michael when his name is Micah to the point where your kid is having to correct you, dude?
It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. But right now, sign up for a new Prize Picks account.
Hello.
Hi, Jera. Sign up for a new Prize Picks account. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty, MONTY Monty. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more plays instantly. Dude, it's an easy road home. It's an easy road home. Half a yard passing for Dak. College football is absolute glee when it comes to Prize Picks. Hook it up. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Open a new Prize Picks account. Use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more in plays instantly. You can play the whole season on that. You can play the ho 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 ho. Breaking news from NBC News.
Wait, do I have a hold on? Let me just really quick. Let's see. Do I have any type of? Okay, let me try this one. I've never tried this one. Let me see this.
Hello.
No, that didn't work. Okay, go ahead. What's the news?
Stay hard. House panel releases tens of thousands of documents as controversy around Jeffrey Epstein case looms large.
Oh, bruh.
Now, they're just picking through it. 30,000 pages were made public. The committee release may not represent the totality of Epstein-related documents, which include flight logs, court filings, jail surveillance footage, redacted records, depositions, and memos. And it also potentially includes the Jeffrey Epstein client list.
Note the word used was potentially.
Potentially, because now Ghislaine Maxwell is on tape saying that there was a client list. And
yeah, it's potentially because it's still sitting on Pam's desk under a pile of papers.
And she told Donald Trump's personal attorney there is no client list.
Mm-hmm.
33,000 pages released. Let's see. House Republican Robert Garcia, or excuse me, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee said, quote, the 33,000 pages of Epstein documents James Comer has decided to release were already public information. These were already in the public light. This is not new information. After careful review, Democrats have found that 97% of the documents received from the Department of Justice were already publicly available. There is no mention of any client list or anything that improves transparency. The Republican-led House panel obtained the documents and Mike Johnson, the House leader, had promised to release them. Well, they haven't released them. Boy, we'll see. Jake, do we ever get a client list?
Yes, we do. We do. Because I don't think the public will rest until it comes out. It will always be a thing. Yeah.
Brutal.
It'll always be a thing.
We'll see. I think it is very interesting. You look at what's going on around the world, man.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yes.
How do you guys in the comments section do it every day? We're out here talking about the Epstein client list, and we got Buddy here saying Venezuela getting bombed today. Like, how do you do it, dude? Like,
who said that?
Wasikowski, third from the bottom. Like,
Venezuela getting bombed today. No, Venezuela did not get bombed today. A drug boat. This is all part of the distraction, man. And it is what it is. Drug carrying vessel is what they described it as, that was departing Venezuela, kills 11. And then China promptly released that they have the world's most powerful laser.
I'm sure.
And it will be demonstrated for the media during the Xi, Putin, Kim Jong-un meeting. Okay. Greg Perez, I bet Diddy knows the client list and will use it to get out of jail. Right? Yeah, we will on the last week of Trump's presidency, potentially. The other thing, like, speaking of rooting for people, I really hope he didn't have a stroke. So many people are hoping he's ill or had a heart attack or a stroke. Can we stop doing that? I understand that Donald Trump's a very divisive character, but you don't have to want him to do well. But if the president of the United States had a stroke, which a lot of people believe or hope, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come on. I hate politics, but whenever you guys talk about it, it becomes entertaining. Well, I appreciate that. We try not to be too serious about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, we're just escalating things around the world, and it's a real bummer. We're not in a, you know, it's funny. I sold one of my BMWs today, and we're at a point where you just can't trust anybody. So I am selling my X2M, and I posted online. 3 minutes after I posted, I get a full cash offer. All right. Then this morning, I get a call from 2 massive auto groups in Chicago. Like, literally my phone rings and it's this massive auto group in Chicago. I get off the phone with them. They're like, okay, we're going to arrange it. Please don't sell the unit. Okay, great. Ring, ring. Another massive auto unit. Hey, we'd like to pick this car up. Can we come get it today? I'm like, no, you're going to need, like, and I'm going through the process. And then the first guy who offered me cash, full cash offer, calls my phone and he's like, hey, I just got to get some information for you so I can wire money to your lender. And it's like, who do you believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because our country has turned into a bunch of scammers. And you can't believe people. And it turned out the guy was legit, and he actually is buying my car. But I'm amazed by it. I am amazed by it. That we're just in a world where you can't believe anything that you see.
Yeah.
And tough. I don't know how, if you're somebody that's trying to buy a house, I have no idea how you do that right now. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at condos right now. I have no idea how people afford condos. You're talking about condos that are 20 to 30% over market value. With this one condo I looked at was in a luxury tower. To buy it, it was $680,000 with a $3,000 a month HOA. So let me get this straight. I'm going to pay you $4,000 a month in a mortgage and almost that much for an HOA. Like, that's just outrageous.
Yeah. Why would anyone do that?
And the market took I just don't know how you do it. And we get into these conversations about 401ks and Roth IRAs and paychecks, and I just don't know how you do it. I don't know how you live your life at the mercy of your employer. And it's just remarkable to me that just trying to sell, like, because I just bought a brand new BMW. I got a X4M competition. And we have two of them. We have an X2M and an X4M competition. So we're selling the X2M. And I don't even trust the people reaching out to me. I had this one guy be like, hey, and I got a lot of communication. I probably got 7-8 people that reached out to me. I got this guy tell me, I'll bring you the cash right now. Like, that doesn't help me close a deal, dude. Well, let me come drive it. Yeah, I'm going to let you test drive it. I'm like, you're going to have to show me a proof of funds and make me a full price offer. And then before you come and test drive it, you're going to have to send me a bill of sale. Right? Because I don't trust anybody. And the guy disappears and ghosts.
Yeah.
It's because you're not legitimate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, and it's when here in Salt Lake City, because I know we have a lot of listeners outside the market. In Salt Lake City, there's a website, a news channel called KSL. They have an app where you can sell things. Like, I posted a ladder for sale. 3 minutes later, sold. Like, and the guy's straight up about it. He's like, hey, I need it for this. Is it legitimately that? Like, but you can't trust anybody. The guy showed up with his daughter, threw it in the back of his Tahoe, handed me $100 cash. Great. We're on our way. But like, I don't want people coming to my house. I just don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
That's a sad
I don't
thing.
think you're wrong for that. I don't think you're wrong for that. And that's the hard part about selling stuff. You got to weed all that out, and that's why I always tell people, like, the hard part is like, when you're selling privately, like, cars are a different thing than like just household goods, obviously. And the thing with cars is like, it's always ideal to go to a dealer because at least then that they're legitimate and that you're dealing with someone reputable.
Yes.
But that's the hard part about selling privately is like you're going to get more out of a private deal than you would out of a dealer. And so it's like, well, which way do you go?
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
$3,000 HOA. Okay. Yeah. Dude, me and my wife are resolute. I will never, ever have an HOA again. I just won't. Gabriel, that's why I have a tight circle around me. You can't trust anyone anymore. You can't. You absolutely can't. I believe Victor. Okay. Do I have a Big Daddy Magic video of the day? Big Daddy Magic's kind of gone MIA on Instagram.
He sent you a couple last week, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh my God. He sent me like 5. See, I don't get in my DMs at all. Okay. Which one of these is better? This one, you look nude.
It's the end of the third quarter. Notre Dame's down 21-7. But that, like, the 5-yard line at the end of the third quarter, player. One more in Miami. Hey, player. And it feels so good.
Do you guys see what I get?
Human heartbeat. Taylor Swift on my street every 5 minutes. Happy Labor Day tomorrow. A year from now, hopefully I'm putting a beautiful drop-dead woman into labor. Bye.
Bro, dude, come on now.
Okay. What is this one he sent me?
Hey, player! Tonight, I'm not Big Daddy Magic. Tonight, I'm the Crusher. I'm at the Westerner. You know the Westerner?
No, I don't.
Where the hillbillies drink beer. Where the hillbillies come to drink, those hillbillies that like to take baths on Mondays.
See what I mean? Like, this is the life I live, you guys. You think I'm joking. This is the life I live.
Yeah.
I get videos all the time like that. Wasikowski, getting a CDL job through FedEx truck payment is $3,000 a month. You own your own big rig? Is that what you're telling me? That's wild. Yes. Why are we making multi-million-dollar homes instead of 3 and 2 starters? No idea. Stupid. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. You better trust me, Timothy, explicitly. Honestly, that X2M sounds like a good deal. Since I am an empty nester, I don't need something as big as an X4 or an X6. That X2 sounds like a good ride. I hate selling it. But my wife is resolute that we don't need 2 cars. And yeah, we don't need 2 cars. One of my biggest flaws is trusting people. I've learned the hard way to never do that anymore. Truth. The X4M is looking good for you, Monty. I love it, Jake. Dude, it is. Yeah. It is an unbelievable ride. It is. The only problem is now I got to let my wife drive it. And I'm a little nervous about that because she is the queen of tire, like rim rash.
Yeah.
You put her next to a curb, she'll find a way to hit it.
Just saying.
Nothing. Nobody's got nothing. Okay. You know. All right. Last one. Bronco McFord, can Boise State recover? Sure. You have a cupcake schedule. I mean, it really is. If you look at their schedule, I want to say you guys are Eastern Washington. Like you have Appy State coming up, New Mexico. Lost one, Eastern Washington at Air Force, Appy State at Notre Dame, New Mexico, UNLV at Nevada, Fresno State, San Diego State at San Diego State. That's a win. Colorado State and at Utah State. You guys could easily run the table the rest of the way. You could. You got to lease your own truck, unfortunately. Oh, dude, that's a huge number. Get the wife a Civic. Yeah, she'll curb rash that too.
Yeah.
She'll slap me if I keep saying that. I can't believe people trust me, but when they do, I prove to be faithful. Well, that's nice. Jake Gordon, miss my guy, Big Daddy Magic. Don't we all? Mm-hmm. Don't we all? The Monty Show presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Appreciate all of you every day watching the show. Listen, if you find yourself in a tough spot, please do not hesitate. Reach out to The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Clear, risk-free advice. You never pay out of pocket. It's the best part about working with The Advocates. You don't pay unless and until they win your case. Theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.